Well, hello everyone. Got my buddy not on the screen right at the moment. He decided to come in with us and hang out for a minute. There he is. Lee, everyone. Lee's here. But his sound isn't working. Hey, Ed, good to see you. We got everybody in here. JND's Bees, James Knoll.
Can you hear me?
We got Vincent and Grayson, and probably other people that we can't see at the moment. But hopefully they come on back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I can hear you now,
Speaking
sir.
of that, James Knoll, I'm working on something for you right now, James.
Oh,
going out in the mail tomorrow.
Looky. There's Randy. Hey, Randy. Good to see you. So, hey, news of the day. Guess what? Our good buddy Rob B from Swarm Rustler is going to be found in a new store.
Oh, moving on up.
Hidden Hollows Honey picked it up. So, and he wants me to bring some to Hive Life to put at his booth at Hive Life. So, at this rate, we'll have 3 places you can buy it.
What, you going to be at Hive Life?
Well, Lee Quimby will be at Hive Life twice.
Two of me.
We're going to be twins. One much taller than the other. Well, maybe not. How tall are you? You're about 6 foot, right? A little bit under 6 foot.
Yeah, I'd be 6. Well, I'm 6 foot. I'd be about 6'2" or 6'3" if my back wasn't so curved.
So, well, we're close then. Just a little bit. I'm 6'2", so, and so we're gonna have like a bunch of tall people there. Matter of fact, I need to pull out my laptop and get it charged up and updated because I haven't had it plugged in so long. I don't even know if it works. I might have to go buy a new laptop. There's Charles in charge. Hey, Charlie.
Well, that's what I was looking at. I need to plug mine up because I'm gonna try to buy another hard drive for it since it crashed, and I'm gonna try to bring it, maybe do a little live stream or something while we're there, depending on how good their internet signal is.
We bring a webcam and set it up at Ricky's booth, and just live stream the whole thing from Ricky's booth. Just let it.
That's what I thought about. I don't want to turn it around for like the presenters and the people that's speaking, because I know Cayman does the CDs or DVDs for that. But just like the booth area, somebody walk by, hey,
yeah, that's
stop
it.
in and wave, say your name.
As long as they have good Wi-Fi's at the hodl. And I showed you my new toy from yesterday, right?
The picture that you sent me?
The Coyote finisher.
Yep.
So this is my Merry Christmas to me. I'm gonna say my wife got it to me. But
at least she got it for you and not for you.
Yeah, well, it could be that eventually. But new Smith & Wesson 9mm.
Hey, don't aim it at me now. Turn it the other way.
Should blast my my screen, blast the camera off the screen. So got some Sig Sauer Elite Defense hollow points.
Heck yeah.
And then I just got some Federal American Eagles. So, hey guys, you know how thrifty I am. That weapon that I just showed was $2.99 at Academy Sports. So if you have Academy Sports near you, they have Rugers at $2.99 for 9mm, and they had this in the 40 and in the 9mm varieties for $2.99.
I still got my dad's old 9mm Browning, old one. My sister always picks on me because I'm running the 9. She's got a 45.
Yeah,
she packs in her truck.
I used to carry, when I was a police officer, I used to get a 357 Ruger with Pachmeyer grips on it. And that's right when everybody started switching over to the 9s, because the 9 has greater velocity and better control. So
there you go, Ed. All the little red dots are 128 gigs a piece. And I just ordered some more on the way to finish filling this up and the other camera.
You're going to have to get one of those pocket juice things to keep your batteries charged in your pocket or something.
The GoPro Volta, you know, the little battery stick.
Oh, you got one?
It'll be here Tuesday.
I'm glad you're catching footage because
I need to catch footage.
I don't know.
I need to catch some of my own yard. I just hadn't done it.
Well, you know, it was 36 when I woke up today and 59 when I came home from work. And the bees were out a little bit, but they were not. I didn't put any feed out for them today. There was a couple of them hitting the tube. And so I didn't really mess with it too much. Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian. Grammy. Hey, Mark. Just catching you as you're coming in. Appreciate you guys for joining us. We're just hanging out, you know. No life beekeeping on a Friday night with nothing better to do in the wintertime than hang out. My ink pads came in, though, for my stamp.
I got to get with Matt on that. Get me probably at least one made, but maybe 2 or 3 different ones.
And yeah, he does a good job. Matt does a good job. And I probably could have done this on my own laser. It was just time, right? I don't have the time.
Time and getting it figured out. Once you get it figured out, though, I mean, basically just throw your design in and hit it. But learning how exactly to get it set up.
And I see Garrison. Can you show that on YouTube? My AR would work a lot better for long distance. Curious Springfield SD9. Oh, nice. There's plenty of channels out there that have about weapons and shooting, and you should see all the coyote videos I watched. I went down
I like the night hunt one.
Mm-hmm.
I like them.
Oh, I even saw there's a company called Umarex. Have you ever heard of them?
Mm-mm.
They make high-powered air rifles, like 50 caliber shell, like a 50 caliber round air rifle. I saw a young girl take down a deer with a air rifle.
Dang.
And there's a guy that was killing coyotes with a 22 air rifle. It was pretty impressive.
Got some power behind that then.
Yeah, that 50 caliber one's like $8.99.
No.
But it's a 50 cal. I mean, it's the drawback to those weapons is you have to it's very high pressured air, right? Like 4,500 was it 4,500 psi in the tube, and of course every time you shoot it loses pressure, right? So and they I've just caught a comment over on the YouTube, the Grammy talking about Grayson and Bob Benny. I saw
Grayson saying there that he done a YouTube video of him shooting his shotgun, and YouTube decided to take it down.
Right. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they will.
I wonder if it had something to do with age in a gun, possible.
I don't know. I didn't fire it. I just showed it on the screen. So it's I know there's plenty of channels. That's all they focus on is wildlife and shooting and all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Hey, Jeff. But yeah, so that's kind of been it. Just not really much bee stuff to talk about from that aspect. What are you doing to start? Are you starting to get anything ready for next year? Or is it going to kind of be as you go?
Can you still hear me pretty good right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just trying out the Rode wireless system. I plugged it in on my soundboard here.
Testing toys.
Got to get it set up right. I still got some supers from last year that I hadn't painted yet. Get those painted up, and the frames that were in them, I still got to wax them, but I still got wax left over to melt and put a good coat on.
Well, I've got plenty of wax. I need to find me something bigger to melt it in. Now that I've used the melter to make it into bars, right? To melt it for waxing, and this will be my first year re-waxing the frames.
Now, just to re-wax mine, I got a little 4-quart crock pot that I bought from Walmart just for wax.
I've got a
And
small
it stays on
one,
my
but
shelf
I don't
right
think
there.
it's 4 quarts. I think it's just a small, tiny crock pot.
This one, I mean, it's not very big.
I might have to see if I can get one. Planning on moving my bee yard the weekend of New Year's. Really?
Yeah, Grammy, I think I might be doing that too with you. I think I'm going to shut down my number 3 yard and bring it back to the home yard here. Because I got to looking at that yard, they got a whole lot of leather wood, which is poisonous to the bees. And I've noticed just those hives, they're not producing like my other yards have.
I'm thinking, hopefully, and I say this, but hopefully before spring, I'm going to get, I'm thinking about getting some rolled poly, the thick stuff like you would put underneath the house, and rolling that out long ways under all my colonies, and then recovering it with wood chips. And that way I'll have 2 years worth of cover right there. And the plastic should keep any larva from being able to penetrate the ground. Right. So,
you're going to use just the plastic, or are you going to put anything on the ground under it before you put that?
Well, I already have, remember this year I put the weed barrier, right? The mesh for like gardening or whatever, that black mesh. Yeah. And I put wood chips on top of it. So now what I'm going to do is roll the plastic out underneath it and then cover it with chips or pebbles or something. I don't know. Something will go down there to make it look nice again. Let me see. Cheap Walmart electric skillet for my melter works good. I'm going to have to check that out.
I got a little electric skillet, one of the copper electric skillets, and I tried that on mine, but I mean,
did it burn it?
It was trying to scorch it, but the other one, it may have a better temperature sensor on it and go a lower temp just to keep it melted and not try to cook it.
And I did have diatomaceous earth underneath my colonies, but it probably needs to be a re-up. Maybe get some bags of potash and put that out.
I figured during our 1, maybe 2 weeks of winter that I have here, I'm going to go buy some more bags of that triazicide that I use, treat the ground real heavy under the hives. And I'd say another 5 to 7 foot out the front of them. That way, while they in the hive, maybe get a rain, get it washed down in the ground and don't have to worry about the bees getting in it.
We had, let me see. We've got, right now they're saying it might even snow here the day after Christmas. Of course, I don't believe anything the weatherman says, hardly. If you can't get the weather right on the day that it's happening, I mean, you can walk outside and tell if it's cold and rainy, you know?
Well, that's what I said. I mean, what a weather guy does, I could do that, and I could be 100% right every single day. I could tell you 50% chance it's going to rain, 50% it ain't. Yeah, they are.
Is that like a stew bag? Is that what you're using?
Some of them, they got like a type of plastic liner that you can put in there, and as long as there's a liquid on it, it's not going to melt to the walls of the crock pot. And then when you're done, you just pull the whole bag out, throw it away.
You know, I don't think I'm pre-ordering anything from Hive Life. I think I'm just going to do my shopping there. And if they have it, then I get it. And if they don't, I don't, you know.
I don't know if you just heard a loud bang, maybe.
You
got somebody right down the road shooting off some of those big fireworks.
They might be shooting coyotes if they're like me.
It's big enough. It shakes the house when they shoot them and then explode in the air again.
I thought we were, guy told me that he was planning to come this weekend. He came last night and we looked around, just kind of getting the size it up. And all right, so Cayman just posted something that said last call for pre-order for Premier.
Did he make that limit that he needed?
I don't know if he made the limit for the pollen. You talking about for the pollen patties?
Yeah. He had to order a certain number of pallets before they would actually confirm the order.
I almost ordered a pallet till he told me how much weight was on it.
Yeah. That's a lot of money there.
1,800 pounds to a pallet. So, I mean, what was it? It was 10-pound. Was it 10-pound increments that they were selling them in? So that's like 180 boxes.
I want to say it was what, 10-pound boxes and maybe 40-pound boxes.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Don't quote me.
It's a lot of money. Donnie says the snowing up there started Tuesday.
I think we got down to, I believe, 38 last night. We was up at 65, 67 today, and we're going to only get down to 48 tonight.
I got 45 right now. What my computer's saying. So, yeah, it's kind of that time of the year where there's just not much content you can put out. I mean, you could always be scraping boxes and frame rests and cleaning up frames but
I try to do that as I'm going through my inspections. I see anything, I'll just go ahead and scrape it off. That way, I mean, if something does happen in the winter, I have a dead out, it's not much to clean out of there. Right.
That's I've got a couple that are out there that I need to clean out. Wax moths, how do they do in the wintertime? I mean, we always treat the frames to keep wax moths out, but I thought winter they wouldn't be that prevalent.
I haven't had a problem with any in the winter. I've only had, I think, one. I know of one wax moth infestation I've done a video on. I can't remember of another one that I've had anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it was right at the end of summer, fall time. And I had one infestation, and it tore the box up pretty good. I mean, they dig into the wood deep.
I had, let me see.
Chris said they only come out in the spring. I hadn't had none in the spring down here. Like I said, mine was late summer, early fall, and that was last year.
Let's see. All right. Well, hey, as we always do, let's go ahead and I'm going to drop the linkage and, hopefully I might try to get some wax dip. I don't know. See, my thing is I don't know what I want versus what I actually need. So I've got a bunch of stuff, right? But some of those boxes I'm not happy with. So, the ones that I have. So I don't know what's going to happen with them, to be honest with you. Let me see. Let me pin that message. There you go. It's pinned to the top. Feel free to click the link and jump on in, guys, if you want to come sit with us and chat and burn each other's ears off for a little while.
I'm trying to find that video where I had the wax moth problem. Like I said, it was last year. So.
I have some boxes out there that are pretty bad. I actually thought about just throwing the whole box away.
I did throw a couple of wooden frames away.
And
that.
Well, the best thing I can tell you, Grayson, with video ideas, there's some things that I don't do because they don't apply to my area. So, like winterizing colonies, other than like putting on a sugar brick, doesn't really apply to my area that much. So it doesn't do me much good to do a video on winterizing a colony when, in fact, people like, let's say, Mike at Coon Lake and, some of these guys up north, they'd be able to tell me how to winterize a colony where I couldn't really tell them, right? So I'm really talking about something I don't know about that much because I don't have to deal with it. Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh. Look who we got. Hold on. Let me cover my... All right, it's not that bad tonight. Hey, Charlie.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right, I'm trying to...
Trying to what?
Oh, I got two computers running here. I got my laptop.
You got your new one?
I got my new computer, and I just haven't got the microphones and the speakers and stuff hooked up yet.
All right, so
You're supposed to do that within the first hour of getting that computer now.
Yeah,
I
plug it all up.
You know,
Right.
when you go from a regular computer, box computer to a laptop where everything's built in, you get rid of all that stuff. And then you get to go back to the box saying, well, wait a minute, I need I had to have a cable for my USB connections where it's, convenient. And I got that there, a card reader that you told me about, and a case for my SD cards. And so tomorrow I'm supposed to get speakers for my new computer. And I've been,
Did you get the ones with the subwoofer and stereo speakers?
I don't know, I got a guy that's going to give me a pair for free. So we'll see what
Okay.
happens.
That's what I was telling Charlie on the phone the other day. I still have my Sony surround sound system. I think I'm going to bring in out of storage, put in here, and put me some new speakers up and tie the computer into surround sound with about 600 watts.
So you've turned the new computer on. How much faster is it than the old computer?
I see it like in my editing software, when you bring the software up to start it in my laptop, it's like, okay, it's thinking about it. And then it's thinking about it going to the main screen and all that, where there's new one, it just comes up.
It's just
I'm
on.
getting used to this 32-inch screen here. It's like, now it's you're getting used to it.
You thought you were going to press that button and have to go get a drink and then come back and it'd be ready, and you couldn't even get out of your chair now.
Now you just press it, you click, and it's there.
Yep.
And the bad thing is, in a year, we'll be saying, doggone, our computers are slow again. It's time to upgrade again.
Well, I've been all week, like files, and tonight I still use AOL, and some of my stuff, and in the emails I like it, and finally downloaded that and downloaded the editing software and downloaded like my printer works automatically with 10, but you don't get the features unless you download the actual printer software drivers and stuff.
Right.
I did all that kind of stuff. So I've been, stuff that you take for granted when you're in one computer, and then you go to the new one. Well, where's it at? What's not there? You have to add, you have to add to it. And it's like Zoom, you have to download Zoom and then log on and all that. And
that's one reason why I use Gmail and stuff, because a lot of things you can log in just using your Google account.
I have a Gmail account, and what I didn't like about it was it used to layer the emails, and I couldn't find them.
Right.
And somebody told me how to go into systems and turn that off and all that stuff. But so it's coming along. My big thing right now is figuring out how I'm going to. I got 3 hard drives in this thing. I got 2 SD drives that are a terabyte a piece, and then I have a storage drive, which is like 4 terabytes, which is a spin drive. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to lay it out. One of the programs that I used since I went back, the program I originally bought was in 2008. It's called Folder Clone. That was back when cloning was the big issue in the news. And the icon for this here Folder Clone is a sheep, because they did that back in Ireland or someplace. So my software version was 9 versions old. So I went and bought the latest version for 10. And it mirrors. If you got an external drive and you got your C drive and you tell to copy everything under documents, it will mirror a complete copy of that
Like a backup.
as a backup. And then if you go into C drive and let's say you do an Excel file and you update something on a spreadsheet, and then you hit Folder Clone, it will see that file has been changed, and it'll update the one in your external drive automatically. So
what I found out a long time ago is those little, I call them the little one, but the M.2 drives, the SSD.
The flash drives at home.
That's always they set that as the C drive because they're so fast. but you need to go into your settings and make sure all your videos and photos and all that apps and all that crap get put on one of your larger drives, because otherwise that thing will fill up so quick. Then you're getting notifications. You have to move stuff and clean stuff. It's better just to set it up from the beginning and let it all go to that 4 terabyte drive.
I didn't get any notifications, but I do that. My C drive is just for my programs. Then I have another SSD for the current videos that I'm working on. That's the only thing goes on it. Once I'm done with those videos, they get transferred to an 8 terabyte backup drive.
Right.
And then that I guess working drive, my editing drive, it stays empty. Only what I'm working on goes on it.
Yeah, well, see, now I have a scratch drive like that, but
Yeah, I got another.
I don't have any programs that utilize that.
Some video editing software does, some don't. I use Premiere Pro and it uses a scratch disk. You don't have to have it, but it does speed up the process if you have it.
I'll tell you what bugs me is like, so my game cams that I bought, right? Everything that they save in a .avi file.
Big
Well,
file.
DaVinci Resolve does not recognize .avi files. So I have to convert those files before I can use them in the videos.
They don't have a setting in the camera to where you can tell it, hey, AVI or MP4.
Mm-mm.
AVI is normally a larger file too,
And
but
then,
you get more quality out of it.
then when I got the SD card in my reader and I pull it up, it won't allow me to format it from my computer, like erase everything. I have to erase it from the game cam itself. So it's a little bit of hassle, but it works. Whatever.
Hey, Gunline had a question up here I seen a minute ago. Has anyone used an AC duct board for insulation to wrap the outside, or will it just fall off in the weather?
I think I want to say, did Frank do that? He's an AC guy. Is that what he used? That he's
He
talking
has-
about that
He
styrofoam
had some
board?
kind of board around it. Now, I think if you were to put that silver AC tape on it and then overlap the tape, that it should seal pretty good, because your AC ducts, a lot of times you're going to get condensation on it between
Right.
hot and cold. So if it sticks on the AC system, I don't see why it wouldn't stick on the hive, as long as you wrap it far enough around that it's overlapping the tape.
As far south as you are, Tim, I wouldn't even know if you would need to wrap your colonies down there. I don't wrap my colonies up here.
I
Charlie
don't either.
doesn't wrap his colonies, and he's further north. But
All I do, I go out there on a cold day or the day after a cold day, and I use my FLIR camera to see if I still got a heat signature on that hive.
oh, hey, that guy that came to scout out for the coyotes last night,
Mhm.
he brought a thermal monocular,
Hmm.
it's just like a single tube, right?
Yeah.
And when you smash it against your eyes, instead of turning red, it turns green. Like the hives turn green, and then and you could see where the bees were, but they were like green and a little bit higher, like a white, green to white, right? Instead of red to white, like it is.
Well, now, like in the FLIR 1, I can set the different color profiles. I can tell it, hey, anything hot, show in red, or I can tell it hot, show blue or green, or whichever way I want. But I'm just used to seeing red. To me, stands for heat.
Yeah, that was his night vision monocular that he had. He had some money tied up in his stuff. He brought out that little it's called a lucky duck call, and it's basically a horn on a box and plays coyote sounds to get them to come in, and then you pop them, right?
I've seen some of them like that. They'll make a recording basically of like a injured rabbit or something like
Yeah,
that,
they do that too.
and go out there and they just play it on a loop.
So my thing is, couldn't I just use a Bluetooth speaker and have the MP3s of those sounds on my phone and Bluetooth it?
Should be able to.
I mean, I've got a nice Bluetooth speaker.
Must be selling pretty good there, Brian.
Yeah, the Fox Pro. You know what I'm talking. The Fox Pros are expensive.
I don't know where my box is from Brian right now. I still got to hang my other shelves in the back. I got them put together. I just hadn't hung on yet. That way I can put his creamed honey up on the shelf.
Oh, Tim said we wasn't going to wrap it. We saw some on a trash pile and thought we may be good to have insulation. You know what? You could possibly, if it's the thinner stuff, you could possibly put that in your lid or on top of it, tape it to the top. Because I've seen some people, and I want to say it was Black Mountain Honey that says when he puts that insulation on top, it keeps the condensation from coming underneath the lid. I want to say it was
Gives a little thermal barrier between the warm bees and the cold outside, I would think.
Charlie, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd make sure you didn't like doze off on us with your eyes open there for a
Nah.
minute. But
Now I'm looking at both screens here, and one's a delayed screen. And
so Charlie, what's on your Hive Life Christmas list? What are your main goals to buy at Hive Life? We were kind of talking about, I didn't really have anything in mind, but if I see something, then oh my gosh. Hey man, glad you got to see me again.
It is bright in here again.
Man, what's going on, fellas?
I would like to
Come on, guys.
portable hive lifting machines, but I don't know. I don't think there's going to be anything that small there.
Apamay covers the installation concern. I want one of those. However,
I don't want to do that price. Yeah.
the price is kind of steep. Now, it might be worth it. I don't know. I think I would rather try the Lyson one that Charlie's got behind him.
Yeah, I like that. Well, the thing with the Apamay, you got to think about it. Now, Art, you got the lid, right? Yeah, yes, it's insulated, but there is a ventilation grid up there or grill that you can't close up or you can't close it down or whatever. It's also made of plastic. Of course, now the license is styrofoam, which is not the best of anything, but they all have their drawbacks. It's just like Brian with Castle Hobby. He went in there and he took off those feeders and then he put I think either inner cover was it or something. It was like an insulated inner cover inside there.
He usually has a box, like a quilt box, where he puts burlap in, I think.
Yeah, but this is for the Apamay. He had one there that the bees were going up. I mean, when you're feeding bees in the middle of winter, they don't want to be coming up out of the brood nest. You got to be more direct feed, or they'll get cold and die. So he took those feeders off that come with that unit, and he put something. I think it was a inner cover, but it had bubble wrap on it or something like that.
Hey, Stan.
Yeah, he took the bubble wrap. He put the bubble wrap down, and then he put the Hive Life on top, and then put the cover over it. Because them covers have a big dome in them.
Right.
Yeah, but he took those feeders out of the thing completely,
Yep. He took those out because you can't get it's always problems with the fondant, and I had that last year. I took the feeder tops where they have that part that comes over, where the bees come up. I took that out on both of them and then cut a huge slit in there and put it right over it. That's how I did it, but it's not efficient. You're better off doing something like he did, take the feeders all the way out.
Now, from what I've seen on some of like the domed lids on the inside, part of the reason of that, if it's flat and it gets condensation, all your condensation is going to drop where it is. If it's domed, it causes that condensation to go out at an angle and go down your side walls versus dropping down the center.
Well, that's what I found with that license hive. It's in back of me there. It has sort of rounded corners on the inside. And then there was like one guy here locally. Oh, they send you a propolis trap for the inner cover on them. And so the bees don't put any burr comb between that and the top of the lid. And I used it. I mean, they said that was what it was for. And it worked fine. Now, what the bees did was they propolized that covering, that sheet with propolis, kind of sealed their own little, just like a vent hole, how they seal it up. They don't want all that ventilation. They did the same thing with this propolis trap. And I did not have any upper ventilation holes open. The only thing I had was in the bottom. There's 4 holes. I think they're like, no, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 inches in diameter. I left one of them open. And then, of course, the front entrance was open with the mouse guard, I guess you would call, where the bees could get in and out, but nothing else could get in. And it worked fine. The bees worked well. Being insulated like that, they use a whole lot less food. And the insulated hive has definitely got some advantages.
Hey, Stan, while you're on here, I talked to a guy today. He's out of, he's got a ranch in Texas that is interested in having some 6,000 acres pollinated in Texas. But I recommended that I talk with you that maybe the Hives for Heroes people could get some pollination contracts, you guys down in Texas, pollination contracts for his area. And he was a veteran himself, so he's interested in having the Hives for Heroes beekeepers to pollinate his fields. So
that'd be a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, I get random calls like that sometimes. So just trying, obviously I would love to have a pollination contract like that. However, I'm not hauling my hives to Texas to put them up. So you're in Texas and you're with the Hives for Heroes. So might be a great opportunity. Give me a call sometime this weekend, maybe, and we can talk about it. No, haven't caught the coyotes yet. We're going to do a night hunt probably tomorrow. And if we don't catch them in the night hunt, then we're probably going to put out some traps. And then me and my buddy Smith and Wesson will go and take care of them once they're trapped. So that's the goal anyway. Because South Carolina has a nice, I don't know if it's nice. It's weird. They have you have to use, if you're trapping, you have to use a 5-inch trap or less with rubber, like the rubber guards. So if you catch one, you don't injure their legs, right? However, if you catch them, you can't relocate them and you have to dispatch them. So it's like, then why are you worried if their leg gets hurt if you're going to kill them anyway? So it's
the only thing I can think of, they're trying to say the humane way, you're just holding the leg instead of, I guess, puncturing. And
well, I think
you do dispatch them.
It might be more to the point that if you catch a raccoon or something in there that you're not trying to kill, then you can release them, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. But hey, my game cam's right there, so y'all get to see the pop shot, pow, when it drops to the dirt. When I put that video out, PETA.
You should get one of those. You should get one of those fake chickens and put your chicken sounds to it.
I actually thought about just going out there and getting, a bag of leg and thigh quarters, and somehow, I don't know, burying it, dripping the blood right there, and then burying it under the dirt, so they have to come and try to dig at it for a minute, just long enough to get a shot. We can't snare them here, so we either have to trap them.
Well, that just says people who eat tasty animals, doesn't it?
Right.
I was thinking it.
Well,
dude, trapping coyotes is like the hardest thing.
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
Yeah,
but
we shoot them like crazy around here.
They're coming like 10 feet. I mean, literally 7 paces to my side of my house from where my game cams are.
Like Bob, just take the chicken, nail it to a board, stick it in the freezer, then stick it out there at night.
Just let them
frozen.
Come and pull on it. I saw one guy that had a big open field. He actually stopped and picked a roadkill deer up in the back of his truck and took it out in the middle of his field and sat it there where, they can't drag the whole deer off.
That's what we do.
They come out there and then you just pop them as they come up.
We take them and put them on a field, and we take rebar and we pound it through the carcasses into the ground so they can't pull them off too far. We wait 3 days, go out there and have at it.
PETA, old Indian man say word for poor hunter. So I mean, it'll be interesting and fun. We'll see. I mean, they're not too scared around here, obviously, because even in the game cam video, you can see the cars going by, the headlights going by on the road, and he's just chilling out, looking.
Well, if it ain't this scared, just go out there and pet it.
Go out there and pet it. See, now I'll be the dummy that shoots him and then finds like a litter of pups in the woods or something, right? Then it's like, now what do I do with these pups? I would feel bad about destroying the pups, but
Well, that's better than shooting it, walking up to it, and then it stands back up and grabs you.
oh, if I hit it with a hollow point, it ain't gonna move too far. Hopefully.
There's a good one. I don't know if it's directed at an individual in comments, but heck, that'd be a good one for everybody on screen here.
Look at
Size of a fist was my smallest.
the smallest that made it. What size colony was it in?
It was a 10 frame, and it was full 10 frame, and it came out and it was a fist.
Wow. And then it recovered and just flourished in the spring?
It didn't flourish, but it recovered.
But I mean, it got up to the point to where you could rob brood or something from another colony and help.
Yeah, yep. I made splits off it later on, middle of June, but
That's
I hadn't had one that small. Smallest I did here was about a half of a 5-frame nuke.
what did you just say splits in the middle of June?
yeah.
Oh, that's your spring though in
Yeah.
Minnesota. It's like you're just getting packages in June. That's here I'm planning, if things go the way they're normally do, by the middle of January, February, they're starting to get active and starting to build up. And by March this year, middle of March, I'm going to split and hopefully make good splits this year. But I did notice that my carnies have really shrunk. My Italians not so much, but the carnies have shrunk down. Pretty
I was
much.
out snow blowing, and a neighbor stopped, and he said, "Are those your bees? The ones across the creek?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're gonna kill them all." I said, "All right, thanks." He said, "No problem." He said, "You better insulate those." And I said, "Why is that?" He goes, "You're gonna kill them." I said, "Oh, I never knew that. Thanks for the input. I'm not a person to block this guy." So the guy drove off and came back. He goes, "I'm serious. You're really gonna kill him?" I said, "Well, I thank you for your input. I'll see what happens this spring, I guess."
Right.
He was just upset with me.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
boy, some furry girls.
it's not your first rodeo. It's not your first year
No.
beekeeping. You know, that's the thing. Some people just say that it's their way or the highway. You know what I mean? They do it right. Everybody else does it wrong.
Yeah, that's why I just laughed. Oh, cool. Thanks.
So, yeah. Well, they're my bees. If they die, they die. No, I'm just kidding. I'm tired of keeping them anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
I should have bet him. I should have bet him and said, "I bet you half of them will."
You should ask them how many colonies do you run? Oh, none. Okay, thanks.
Right? Yeah.
So,
That's like I was talking at one of these. Well, we had our holiday party at our club, and I was talking to this other president of the club, and around here, EAS master beekeepers are a big deal. You know, there's quite a few of them, and we were talking, and
some of
I
them,
said, they ought to get their darn license revoked because everyone I know can't keep a dozen bugs alive if they tried.
right?
He says, "Well, it's pesticides." And I'm like, I said, I got a farm here. We're doing corn. We're spraying, within 20 feet of the hives. I mean, either it's a broadleaf or whatever. And I said, I don't have that problems. I mean, I have my problems with my bees, but it's not, biggest thing is varroa mites and stuff.
That must have been mad, huh?
Yeah. The mail lady's here picking up my packages.
I've seen you turn around and look, so I figured it
At
was you.
8:30 at night.
Oh yeah. This is their third round.
third time today picking up. I saw that big
Yeah.
box, that big table that you had full of stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to
Did
get
you
out all
get your
the
laser machine or whatever it is you have was broke?
Fixed.
The epilogue?
Yeah. Yeah, that one back there. Yeah.
So your most expensive laser is giving you the most problems right now.
Yeah, it's the oldest though. So going on 6 years.
Brand new.
What's that?
I thought that thing was brand new within a year old or something.
This one's brand new. The epilogue, that one's almost, that'll be 6 years in March.
And it, what was it?
The belt went out on that. Well, a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's a brand new machine again now.
But still no warranty.
No, $4,000 later, so $3,800. Brand new machine again.
Well, you put a new tube in it, and now a new
Mirrors, belts. Yep.
new motor, transmission, sausage.
Yeah, right.
And how much does a new one of them cost?
That one,
Yeah.
I don't even know nowadays. That one cost, well, that was $68,000, just bare bones.
68,000.
Yeah.
You should work on its
with
own.
everything I got was just here under.
For 68,000, it should come with a girl that says "Love you long time" every time. You go
It should just come with about a bottle this big of something.
And notice he said that was bare bones. Plus he added
Yeah.
extra.
Yep. So I honestly, if I could well, back then they didn't have the technology that they do now either. But if I would start today, I'd buy probably 4 of these and then take off running. But
Now what's that new one there run?
10.
this one,
10 grand.
12 grand, and then another 13,000 out the door with the rotary tool.
Okay.
Less than 13,
But has it paid itself back yet?
yeah,
So, and he's only had it
over and over and over again.
So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Now I looked at them epilogues, I don't know, 20 some years ago, trying to look at something new to get into, and it basically lasers and stuff like that. And we just never bought one because
Not basically, that's what it does. That's all it does.
well, we were trying. I mean, we were at the wood show, and they were cutting stuff, cutting out whatever, and I'm looking, okay, what can I cut with this thing? And that was when the women were into the wood craft business. Everybody was into wood crafts and shelving and everything, but we just never could find a market for that for what we do. It's
Yeah, there's a market for everything, really.
well, it's designed, for what you do. That's the thing, etching and whatever. And we wound up buying a 5-headed molder, and that goes more in line to what we do.
Yeah. I got, so this one, I just asked them for a quote for a fiber laser and their biggest thunder laser, and see if I can weasel some prices down on them a little bit if I get 2 for 1.
Well, when you send me that 20 watt,
Right?
hey, it's almost past the Christmas time, so you see.
They just sent me enclosure. They said they want me to make a video this winter, and I'm like, all right, so what do you want the video to be about, and stuff, and what do you want me to cut? I want to push this limit so everyone knows what you can and can't do, and I'm getting a lot of questions on glass. And they're like, well, we really don't care about glass. And I started laughing, and I'm talking to this lady on the phone. I said, is that... Sorry, she must still be out there. So
Making trips back and forth to the truck.
yeah, but they're asking about glassware. A lot of people are, because they can't figure out glassware, and it's time consuming, and then it's expensive because you put sprays on there. And that lady's like, oh, we really don't care. We just want to get a nice video. And I said, well, I'm not here to push your product. I'm here to test your product, and that was part of the agreement. So
Right.
they sent me out a little enclosure, so I'm gonna put it to the test after the first
What did
year.
they do?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't win, by the way. I had I don't know, 12, 13 points, I think. what I ended up with. And I believe that the winners had, let me see. Well, I can look right now. So I did win like the biggest package, but I didn't even look to see like I got the $30 off coupon, SVG file, materials, and 20% off. But I don't know if you have to do anything as far as like purchasing to get that stuff. But it looks like number 15 had 80 points, and I came in at 12 points. So I was quite a bit off, but it's all good for that smoke detector thing. I'm surprised they didn't send you one of those.
I told him I didn't want it. Never use it.
See?
I took all the safety stuff off of that thing right away.
So like Mark's trying to get
I keep telling him we can have a setup. He gets all this free laser stuff. I'm like, look,
They're little tiny lasers.
just get it. Do the video. And, you know, do they send you their little fiber thing? Their other diode laser that's like more like a fiber?
They want to send me that one, and then they want to send me the one that's in a box, and I'm like, no.
Dude.
I don't have the room, and I don't want it.
Right. But just do the damn video and mail it to me. I'll pay for shipping.
Send it to Bob. He'll do the video for you.
And here, for free. I pay for shipping. Works out good.
Yeah, but then I have to make a video about it, and I don't want to.
Oh, man, come on. See,
Just Photoshop you over Bob.
Hey Matt,
Yeah.
just tell him you'll take the item and you got a guy that'll do a good video on it for you, and then send it to Bob. We'll do the video.
well, the thing is,
There you go.
I've only got like a fifth of the subs that he's got, so they're not even looking. I'm not on their radar for that stuff.
I actually had a company, the 3D printer, and it was Brian looked into it for me and stuff, and they wanted to work with me and another creator. And I was like, hey, I know a guy that uses these all the time. So I sent them Brian's way, and they're like, no, we want you to do it. If you want two, we'll send you two, and you can send it out to him. I said, all right, let's hook it up. Let's do it. And then they were sold out, and it was a month later, and I was busy pulling this in, and I was like, nope, I can't do it. I have to wait. And they got mad, and they said, well, don't expect to hear from us in the future ever again. I said, okay, that's your loss. Like,
Right.
like, what? Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Hey, to answer Mark's question on the screen here real quick, turn that little knob around the pilot, push it down and hold it for about 10 seconds to bleed the air out of the line. And then usually press it one or two more times. When it lights, you got to hold that pilot button down until the little thermosensor in it gets warm enough, and then you can let off and turn it on.
Look at this.
I got one.
Look, not Hey Lee and Bob. This is on my channel.
I told him hey in the comments.
It's like Hey Lee. I'm like, man, all right. See, no.
Well, Lee, did you get your Go mics working?
Yeah, I figured out what it was. I was hooking them up to the tablet
He's on it now.
to try to update them. And it for the first update, it wouldn't allow me to do it. I had to hook all three of them to the computer at the same time. And as soon as I hit update, everything updated and they turned on.
All right.
Now,
Well,
Lee, do those hook up to your GoPro?
Yeah.
Without having the media pod?
Well,
I had the media mod and I hook it up to the GoPro. That
I
way.
got the media mod, but I don't use it. You can buy this other little adapter through GoPro, and it just plugs in USB, and then it has the 3.5 jack on top, and then that
Okay.
goes into the GoPro.
'Cause I don't want one of those media mods. I tried that and I got rid of it because it keeps overheating that Hero 10.
I didn't have a problem with mine overheating. I just didn't like the sound quality on it. I don't even know where it's at now.
Hey,
Yeah, without it, it was better.
I got the what do you call it? The number 9 camera.
9.
Yeah, and I got the media mod. And then what I also have that most people don't have is I have that, what Lee's showing, and I use that 2-inch external video screen that you put it up on top.
Yep.
So if I'm always by myself, so I can look at myself on that top screen better than that little teeny thing in the front, and keep myself in frame. And then I also have on the side, I hook up my GoPro, or not GoPro, but the Rode mic on the side transmitter.
Well, I found my GoPro has such a wide view
That's
that I don't
nice.
even have to worry about being out of the frame.
Now, what is that, Tim? What? Yeah, that's what I have there. But what do you got there as far as camera? Canon?
Yeah, this one's. I got the Canon M50, and then I got that new lens that they came out with, the 11-22, and that one or this one I like the best so far. And everyone complains about the bees getting into that mic, and I haven't had an issue except for that one hive that got a little pissy with me. And you take the muff off, and it's fine. As long as it's not a really, really windy day, you're going to need it on there.
That's what I would have liked to end up getting for vlogging stuff is the M50, because you can get a better depth of field. Everything behind you just kind of blurs out, and it focuses on you better.
Yeah, we both like it. Sarah and I both like it. It's really
Now,
nice.
my only problem with it, I'm a Nikon shooter. I got multiple Nikon DSLRs, but I do like Canon for some of their video stuff.
Yep, I have Nikons that we shoot pictures with when the kids were tiny, and I switched to that because it was smaller and lighter, and it's pretty easy.
Spanky's been doing the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory today. How much candy did y'all make today?
Pounds.
Pounds?
Yeah.
See, you're sitting here with a bunch of chubby guys. Didn't bring any candy to the show.
Oh, it's all in there. I mean, you gonna come get you some?
Thinking about that, did y'all see
2.5 hour drive to get some candy?
Did y'all see Brian from Flower Street today? His video on the beekeeper's lunch or his sandwich?
I did not see
First
it.
video I came on today.
He had a sandwich laid out talking about a beekeeper's lunch or something that had like peanut butter and looked like honey, different stuff on it. So I sent him a little comment. I said, that's enough for just one person. What about the rest of us here? So he's going to send me a comment back. Give a man a fish, teach a man to fish. I thought that was pretty good.
Chris, what you been up to, buddy? Besides work?
I was sick as a dog yesterday.
Is your heart still giving you problems, or?
What'd you do? Eat
Oh,
some
yeah. I
What'd
must
you
have
eat?
ate something wrong yesterday, but yeah, I'm still. They still haven't got back to me about my surgery yet, so I'm still
Good.
waiting.
What are they going to do?
Supposed to get an ablation.
Oh, I was going to ask, were they going to do a stent or something for you?
No, I have no blockages or anything. Matter of fact, that's what's. I had 4 heart doctors look at me. They're like, "You don't have any clogs in your arteries. You have no fat tissue around your heart. You don't smoke. You don't drink. We don't know why your heart's doing it."
Yeah, that sounds like the VA response. Mine, they know
No,
it's causing it.
No,
and
this
yet-
is a MUSC. It was their 4 doctors, heart doctors.
Okay. Well, then that's unusual. So you used a civilian doctor. You didn't use the VA for that.
Well, no, I was at the VA hospital, but they use MUSC's heart doctors.
Okay. Yeah, they always send me down there. Well, last time I had heart issue, they sent me down there to get checked out. But they did it at the VA, but
Right.
it could have been.
That's where I was.
I don't know. But but they don't. Even if they find something, oh, you got a 50% blockage in one of your arteries. Oh, I do. What are y'all going to do about it? Well, nothing till it's 75%. I said,
Rooter.
yeah. So that's what I said. I said, so I'll be out working my bees and just collapse
Fall
out
over
in the
dead.
bee yard and
Yep.
fall over dead, and it's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah,
I always thought that's what's going to kill me, but now I think I'll take the trash out and get jumped by coyotes. So
You get rid of mama, then all the pups are going to get you.
yeah,
But you could always get the pups and train them to be your guard dogs.
well, I don't know if I did a good thing or not. When I walk my dogs today, I've got the Huskies, right? So I walked my girl dog over there and let her take a pee right there and where they've been showing up. So they've marked that territory as theirs. So I wonder if they'll come and check that out or not
I'm sure.
now. So
Thinking about spring down there in the comments. I got 2 of those from Johnny and Dylan's giveaway on Hillbilly Hides Live. Well, I got multiple more, but that love spell one, the old lady liked that.
are you more in love with her now?
Oh yeah.
Wife's on.
Hey, what do you guys edit videos with? Random question.
I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
I use DaVinci Resolve because it's free, and free is good to me.
I tried that and I could never figure that out.
You know how many videos I've watched on it, and you know how basic my videos are.
I don't know. I went to Filmora 11 now, and it's so much easier.
I literally just drop the clips down in the channel once I add them to the software, and then I just do a merge right to where they in between clips, so don't hard change. Just cross dissolve to them, and that's kind of all I do. And I add a beginning and end and some music. That's candy.
That's all candy.
Lord have mercy.
That's a lot of candy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they're
I
making
use,
good candy.
Adobe
They're using
Premiere.
Old Smoky Moonshine
Yeah, it's all alcohol candy.
and Bacardi.
It's all fun candy.
Hey, they sent me some candy in my package, and it didn't last 24 hours. I'll tell you that much. So they're going to be like, Spanky, do you have diabetes? Nope, not yet. But after this
No.
Christmas, I will.
I don't eat it. I send it out for other people to eat.
And,
That's a good drug dealer. Does that?
Adobe Premiere Pro. I really want to get the Adobe stuff until Lee told me how much it costs a year. And that's kind of but he uses it for multiple things, right? I would only use it for video editing. So it doesn't really make that much sense for me to get the suite.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, if you get just Premiere Pro by itself, I think it's like $20 a month. But
Yeah.
I do all my photography, so I have Photoshop, I have Lightroom, but I can
You got everything.
After Effects, everything.
But $20 a month, I mean, you got to still pay for the software and then $240 a year to use it.
No, that's all you pay. You don't buy the software and then pay a subscription. You just pay $20 a month. You download it, and anytime they come out with an update, you automatically get it.
Updated. Yeah.
That's almost like Matt's software he uses for his laser.
No, I got a CD. You wanted to do download.
My computer doesn't even have a CD anymore.
I
Well,
actually
you USB.
I had to buy a Blu-ray DVD burner so that I can put my software back on this computer because it didn't have a CD on it either.
You guys, hold on. Let me show. I know Spanky's seen it, but you guys evidently haven't paid no attention to it. Let me show y'all something. Let me close this down.
Matt, you were talking about them bees going after that dead cat. I got that little on that Rode mic, it's got a little dead cat on there. And
Yeah.
it's black, and they just like to attack that sucker all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And
Now
that's
you
why I
can-
put it on my hat, and then of course I'm in, I got my veil on and everything.
Oh, yeah, there it is. The scene.
Now, do you have a chance, guys, to change those out to a white one? Because I heard bees don't go after the white. So
I know they're supposed to sell them.
Someone,
They have like a white version of the Rode Go mics, but I don't know about the windsock on it. If it's
I thought about taking it and bleaching it.
You need some pro in your life, Bob.
Well, I do have Windows 10 Pro, but you don't have to activate Windows to use Windows. It will go infinitely without paying that. Well, you can actually buy codes, but
You are limited in some of the features.
well, if I'm not using them now, by God, I don't need them. See, activate Windows.
Every computer I've ever had, I've either had Windows Pro on, or when I had my server rack, I had server software on it. But now on my new one, I'm just running the home version.
That's
you
what I got.
Home?
Home version. I think that's what the guy put on it.
But DC told me to stop talking.
Oh my God. Should have got the Pro.
There's nothing wrong.
The only reason I had the Pro is because I was logging in to my server with it. But if I kick my server back off in here, I think I'm just going to put regular Windows on it and not the server software, and just use it as a share.
And if you have an old computer that you're not using anymore, you can get the code from that one, go into your Microsoft account and disable it on that account, and then put the code in your new computer, reactivate it. So you don't have to buy a new code every time. Just food for thought. Actually, I should do that with my mining rig because it does have active Windows. So I should go out to my Bitcoin mining rig and deactivate Windows, use the code in here. We don't speak on Windows keys. Oh yeah, they've already got me in my cam. It's been through Google processing. I'll probably get 50 things on Facebook messaging or ads now about Windows. Windows.
I'm going to show you a picture. I still have a single wide trailer next door here that went through the flood in 2016, so I ripped it out into just storage. Now, this is a single wide trailer. This is what I had built into the wall that I did.
Is that a server?
Yeah, as a full Dell 42U server rack. I had my main server at the bottom, and then this big blue looking thing. That is 10 servers in there. Each one of these is a different blade. So each one of these blades had two 4-core processors, so 8 cores per blade, running 64 gigs of RAM per blade. So that was 20 processors in that one unit right there.
Are you mining or what?
Nah, the kids played Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's a lot for one video game.
Well, all their friends would log in from school and all different stuff. They'd play on there, but I used it to back up all of our laptops and everything else. I was using it as a Plex video server. So instead of having to put a DVD in the player, I could just bring it up on Smart TV and play all of our movies straight from my servers.
Lee, I would like to be Lee for like a week just to go through all his toys and see what he's got over there. Probably, it might take longer than a week, though.
So did you take computer classes to learn all that stuff later or what?
I had a lot of self-taught knowledge, I guess you'd say, on it back in the day. Now, a bunch of stuff's changed, and I don't keep up with technology like I used to. But I didn't have, I guess, the paperwork.
Wait a minute. Did you just say you don't keep up with technology like you used to? What was you, like a mad scientist back in the day? Or you just sitting there and let me
almost
go on the dark web and buy every piece of technology.
He quit his magazine subscriptions.
Yeah. Nah, but I didn't have the paperwork to back me, and I thought about getting a job in it. So I started going to a little computer school here in Baton Rouge. But it was just a little small. It was almost like community college type thing. And I was just going to get my little paper just to prove, hey, now I can get a job.
Yeah, well, I got all them papers. And
I ended up teaching half of the class. I mean, the teacher would take half the class. I'd take the other half and teaching them. And they would still want to charge me full price. And then whoever the financial officer was over the school had a little problem, and money from the school was coming up missing. And I just told, look, I'm gone before y'all lose any more my money or anything like that. So I never finished.
Have any of you guys ever got those Vevor hives? Vevor, they make like the cheaper extract.
That's where I got my extractor from.
Have you?
Those are the hives I've got.
Are they pretty good? I mean, what's your thoughts on them?
It's the same as the other expensive ones. I've got an expensive one and a Vivo right next to each other. You can't tell the difference.
A Vivo, is that what you said?
Vivor.
Yeah.
Beaver is a,
Polystyrene
Even-
or what?
it's a website.
Yeah, they've got Langstroth 4-layer. So it's got 2 mediums or 2 shallows. Let me see if it's mediums or shallows. 40 frames. Well, it just says 2 deeps, 2 honey supers, and 40 frames. And it looks like it's got a telescopic lid and a bottom board for $171.99.
Yeah, that's about what I pay for mine.
That's really not bad for what you're getting. The bottom, top, 4 boxes, 40 frames,
That's 2 deeps and 2 mediums.
2 deeps, 2 mediums, 40 frames, and it's a whole setup. The whole here, I'll just show it to you.
I just found one of those on eBay for 191. They got it on Walmart for 115. You found it on Vivor's website, huh?
Yeah, I got mine through Amazon.
I've not used them before, but it looks like it's got plastic foundation
okay.
and wood frames.
Yeah, you just have to paint the outside of it unless you want to dip it.
And it has an entrance reducer.
Yeah, it comes with the whole thing.
It has an inner cover too, or no?
Yeah.
So it's literally the whole deal.
Yep.
Yeah, give
Bob,
it
you might be a little mad, but they reached out to me and they want to work with me too.
Vivor?
Yeah.
That's because you did a video on their extractor and tagged them?
I know it's because I spent thousands of dollars through them already, and they saw my name come up and they saw that I had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I don't get that stuff, man. Well, yeah, I don't get that stuff. Not really.
You will, Bob. You will. Just
I'll
stay
tell
in
you
there.
what's not fun, working with a company and finding a defect in their product.
What's that?
Working with a company and finding a defect in their product, that's not fun.
James has used them too. So a little
And you
gap.
know it's that 1 in 1,000 product, but you found the product.
Yeah. The spinner, well, everything I've gotten so far has been good. There's one deal that I bought from them that it was messed up, and I contacted them. They sent me out a new one. I returned the other one. Actually, they told me to keep it. I'm like, no, you need to take a look at this. So I sent it back. But
That's but that, I mean, for the boxes, I mean, I was paying, you figure if you're paying $25 a box, $20 for a inner cover, $20 for a lid, $20, I mean, that's $160 right there, not including the frames.
yeah,
Or the
there was,
entrance
so
reducer.
it's that place when I broke down everything I could last year in the spring. There's one other place on Amazon that was cheaper by $20, and they are all sold out. They don't have any more now, but Beaver was the second.
It was it looks like they're solid bottom boards.
Yeah.
So which extractor did you get? The 8-frame?
Yep.
They got the 8-frame electric extractor, $413.
Tim
I'm
asked
gonna buy. So we do so much butchering. I'm gonna buy. I'm not letting them sponsor anything because I want to know the true and then give a true review on it. But
Right.
it's the what is it called? The vacuum chamber. I have the smaller one. I'm gonna get the one that goes. So you start doing the chamber over here and you load this side. When this one's done, it pops up and goes over here, the lid. Then you take this stuff off, load this side, and then you switch it back again. $2,000.
$2,000.
But I can do I can do 200 chickens in like an hour, not even. So
Yeah.
you'll pay for it. So
Do you sell your chickens or you just use them for yourself?
well, it's all been family and self, but next year I'm gonna kick some family out and start selling.
Good night, Lisa.
Good night, Lisa.
So yeah, I mean that's what I had intended for my chickens originally. have some meat birds, and my wife's like, "No, I don't want you killing them." But then I hear we ain't got nothing good to eat in there. What are you talking about? We had 15. We had 15, 20. One time we had 25 chickens out in the yard. Now I've got 2. The 2 survivors. They got smart after they saw 23 of their buddies disappear. They decided, you know what? We're just going to roost in the trees from now on. And I come out for work, and all of a sudden I hear chicken jumps out of the tree because it knows I'm going to go take scoops of feed right for it. So
I think Tim was asking about those hives. He was showing if those were plywood bottom boards or solid.
solid bottom.
I think they're plywood, but
Really?
solid plywood.
Yeah, solid plywood. Yeah,
Okay.
at least mine are.
You was talking about the meat chickens, though. I bought 50 of them last year. And like the females, you're supposed to do in like 8 weeks. The males were like 6 weeks you're supposed to butcher.
Yeah.
I waited about 6 to 8 months to butcher.
Ooh.
You're
Yeah, that's
probably
a big, there's some meat on them.
A couple of them died of heart attacks. The big white giant
Yeah.
X-Rocks. Yeah. They just walk and fall over and die. But one of them that I butchered, the first one, deheaded, no feet, gutted, defeathered, everything. 11 pounds, 3/4, 11 pounds, 8 3/4 ounces.
Oof.
That was a big chicken.
Yeah.
Nice rotisserie.
We go 9 with females. We go 9 weeks, and their average is like 5.5, 5.25, 5.5 pounds.
Now I only done a couple of them like that. The rest of them, I'd bought the chicken plucker and everything, and I just said, nah, that's too much work. So I called my niece's old man. They were looking for chickens. I said, hey, you come over here. You can use my burner, my scalding tank, my deep feather, my plucking machine, everything.
Your
You
scalding
can
tank,
get rid of them.
your scalding tank might be a good wax dipping box for wax dipping boxes.
Nah, it's actually my turkey frying pot. I just heated the water up to dip the chicken in. I ain't gonna put no wax in it.
Three Boys B said their turkey was 43 pounds this year.
Holy Toledo, that is huge.
That's one fat bird. That's
Yeah, DC. I thought about that. I never had to pluck one by hand, but just hearing all the old stories before I even bought them meat chickens, I went and bought a plucking machine.
When we were younger, my parents would line us all up, all of our cousins and everything, next to the shed wall. There's a bunch of nooses hanging on the shed wall. You put their foot in there, and then you sit there and pluck. Oh, I hated that thing.
so you bought a plucker first thing, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Mine, I've only used it, I think, 2, maybe 3 times. And it's sitting in the shed. It looks brand new. I still got the paperwork in the bag inside of it.
You got the cone now, Matt?
Huh?
You got the cone where you turn the chicken upside down in the cone and grab his neck? And
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted too much money for that, so I just went and bought some street cones and screwed it to a 2x4, cut the end off a little more, and that's all we use. It takes us 4 hours to do 120 birds for 4 of us.
Dang, that's quick.
4
That's
hours.
breaking them down and everything.
I went and bought the extra large killing cones, and like I said, I let them chickens get so big they wouldn't even fit in there.
11 pounds.
11-pound chicken.
They wouldn't fit. So
Just think, I mean, you couldn't even, if you put a price on that, like if somebody wanted to buy chicken from you, if they were buying by the pound, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
How much you
Even
got?
at $1.99 a pound.
I know. How much is that chicken? $80 for one chicken?
They wouldn't want to give it.
Let's have turkey.
Yeah.
They don't want you to give it though.
Yeah. A cone, an axe, and a stump. Just
Yep, that's how we used to do it. 2 nails in the stump, and you put their head in between them, pull it tight, and
whack it.
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah, I was all for it. I don't have a problem. I'll kill a chicken. I mean, when I called my roosters, I did it with a .177 air rifle. So I was just like, they were walking around the yard and all of a sudden, pop! They drop.
Now,
Yeah.
what are
So
you gonna do with Mr. Wiley?
We got a guy coming this weekend. We're going to do a night. We're setting up.
Oh, I know that. What are you going to do with him?
Well, I've got all that dirt in my driveway. I'm going to basically put them where there's no dirt and put dirt on top of them.
Well, I didn't know if there's anything on them worth eating.
No, do what? If I was going to do what with them?
I didn't know if there was anything on them worth eating.
No, that's a dog, man. I'm not eating no dog.
Well, you could make a rug out of it.
Yeah, could skin them.
How about they go have him stuffed and put on the wall?
You guys will see me like what was that movie with oh my gosh, what was the name of this movie? It had Robert Downey Jr. I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And where he accidentally shot a panda, so he had the panda suit on and was going crazy because he had skinned the panda and he was wearing him like a headdress. Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder.
Make you some coyote jerky.
Coyote.
I'll let you have all that.
Dog.
Dog kebabs.
Dog. Hey.
That would make a nice hat.
See, that'll be me. I'll be sitting there with the coyote hat on in the woods, waiting. Yeah, I mean, pretty healthy.
We have a company around here. When we shoot a bunch, we stack them up like cordwood, and we let them freeze. Put them next to a buddy's barn, and when he comes through in the spring, this guy does with a huge cattle trailer, and he loads them all up. Last year there was 800 they took from us. There was a bunch of us that stack them there, but they took 800, and then the pelts were up, and I forget how much money they raised, but we donated it all.
We don't even get. I mean, as far as I know, they don't do anything for pelts here. They used to do $75 a coyote if you would shoot it, like a bounty on them.
Yeah.
If that's the case, dude, I would have just been I would have went all in. I would have bought stuff. I'd have been going to farmers. Hey, you mind if we hunt your field tonight for coyotes? No, go ahead. I'd have had everything. I'd have been walking around like
Coyote
Call of Duty with the glasses on, the full like spec op gear. I'd have been hunting them for sure. Because I see those guys. There was one video on YouTube where they were cattle farmers and they killed 70 in one night.
I just watched that last night.
Yeah, I watched that last week.
70 of them. I was like,
dude, those guys had some nice shots. See, wait until that dog would just look at him, and I was like,
and then you would hear them. They would have the call on, then they would call it, and they would stop and look around, and they would start to walk away, and they would go, oh, oh, and they would stop, pow, and just pop them.
I was
that was a great video.
As soon as they go to walk away and make some kind of noise, just make them stop and look.
Yep.
And they'll kind of turn broadside.
It was kind of amazing when they had that call, how fast they'll come running towards that call. Like a bunch of them, like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them at a time, just coming in like, oh, then they have to shut it off to get them to kind of stop to wonder what happened, try to find it. Pow. And they also, the cool thing with those videos for me is it's like a zombie attack, right? So it's all through night vision. And when they hit them in IR, so when they hit them, the red hot blood goes flying and it looks like they got hit with napalm or something. Pow.
Yeah, or that there was one that was looking at him and they shot it. It sat down and the front legs are up still, and the mouth was open, and you just see the blood pouring out. It's just going like this, and I'm like,
apocalypse.
Yeah, that was a good video.
Yeah, see,
there's a guy down by Winona, southern Minnesota, that we know. He owns land next to the father-in-law, and dude, this guy was nuts. He was huge into coyote hunting, and they traveled and went all over for it. But he was a rabbit farmer. So if you can get where I'm going with this, he made his own calls. And he legit he's going to take and butcher his own rabbits. Before he would do that, he would take a nail and put it right through their foot and then record it. And that's how he got all of his calls. And he's like,
you take a rabbit and nail a rabbit's paw down to hear. So it was actually calling.
Oh yeah, yep. And he recorded that, and then he put huge speakers on top of his van, and then they had bubble shootouts, and it was nuts. And they drove around at night. Everyone knew who he was down there.
That's
It was
They'd be
crazy.
shooting him.
well.
Yeah.
There's one bunch of YouTubers where they have basically modified their back of their pickup truck, where it's basically a big platform that they just get up in there. It's got rails, and they just set on the rails and pop.
Yeah,
Just-
and those same guys will use those for prairie dog hunting.
Yeah, we don't have prairie dogs down here that I've seen. I didn't even know we had beavers till recently. And when we moved here in the 80s, we didn't have armadillos, and now we got armadillos everywhere.
Yeah, they've migrated.
Yeah, they've moved east. So
Well, when I was younger, I never heard about crocodiles up here, and we got those now too in the lakes, I guess. People are letting them go, but
Go watch out from bull
are you
sharks.
really up here? Are you BF?
Yeah. No, people have them as pets, babies or whatever, and they'll find 2-3 footers in the lake and be
They
dead
don't freeze,
every fall. Every fall they freeze, and that's when they find them floating, or they'll find their bodies in the spring.
All right, we're bringing in the star of the show tonight.
This is what we got a lot of here in Louisiana. We try to
Nutria.
shoot a lot of.
Ask me how I know that's a nutria. Swamp people, baby.
Yep.
Has it got a lot of nutrients?
They kill it's a big swamp rat, basically.
It looks like a muskrat.
Almost.
Is that a capybara?
No, it's a neutral rat.
And then they I've seen them use those to catch alligators too. They'll string them up.
Huh.
So
I
we
suppose
went
hang
from
up in the tree.
beekeeping chat to hunting and outdoors chat tonight.
Yeah, I see you getting ready to catch some
And
coyotes.
Hopefully, he said, "Well, if I trap it, I have to go to work. You'll have to dispatch it. Not a problem.
Nah, ain't no problem.
I got something for him."
They're hard to trap.
You got a couple of friends, Smith and Western.
Yeah, Smith and Wesson, 1,000.
Now,
And
Yeah.
I do also have an air rifle too. It's but it's only .177, so I don't know if that's enough. If I give him a headshot, it probably.
Yeah, it'll work.
Now, Larry, they say a lot of people down here do eat them. They say basically vegetarian animals. So, they're real clean.
Well, the name sounds like nutrients. That's why I was asking.
I don't think I can bring myself to eat it because it got the word rat in it.
I got to go
Hey,
look.
I'll
Right.
never say that. If I'm starving, I don't know what I'll be willing to eat.
Yeah, you got a point there. Some people call a squirrel a flying rat, but it don't have rat in the name, so I can still eat squirrel.
Hey, thanks, Lee. I got my heater going.
That worked for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it worked right off.
I got one in the car that I take to the farmer's market down there. I
Yeah,
want
I've
to get the big buddy next time. Got the two heating lights in it.
And if I remember right, the big buddies come with a fan in them too.
I don't know. Well, I know at one time, I know they had a fan in it, but they were saying something about a bunch of problems. So some of them, some model of it, they were taking the fans out.
Oh,
And so
gotcha.
they kept on blowing it.
The other thing, have you ever seen those? You can't see the wood stove from here, but on top of the wood stove, people put those fans that don't take electricity; it just goes off of heat.
Yep, got like the little foil. What you call them? Basically like the little
Fins on
finger,
them.
yeah, the fingers
Yeah.
that come up. Basically, the heat differential
So
creates a low
People
pressure.
will take those and they put them on the buddy heater, and then they put baling twine wire on them to hold them, and they'll bring them out ice fishing, and it moves there. Because as soon as it starts heating up, they start spinning.
I have to invest in that then, because I've already got.
Yeah.
Well, right now I got the portable buddy heater just for the farmer's
Yep.
market, but I want to get the big buddy. I might have to get one of them fans and put on there and try it.
Yeah. It don't take much heat to get them things moving.
Jeff got a comment here talking about pigeons and flying rats. All right. I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, wartime days, they was talking about they used pigeons with cameras strapped to their chest as spies. they would use them to fly over certain areas and have a camera on it, and it would automatically take a picture every so many seconds, and the pigeon would fly back. My youngest one, he is scared to death of a pigeon since he was younger. He said they're going to attack you, and they always looking for you. The government, and we never knew what he was talking about. Well, we went to vacation in Tennessee in 2019, and just so happened he turned the TV on and was watching something that evening when we got back, and an old old documentary come on talking about pigeons and the spy game. He said, "See, I told y'all." I never knew what he was talking about until I seen that. But yeah, they used to put cameras on pigeons to make them fly over war zones.
That's crazy.
We had it's amazing with birds though, as far as like I'd be out in the middle when I was in the Navy, out in the middle of the ocean, like way out, and there'd be seagulls just following the ship. They would land on the ship, take a little break, and take back off again. I'm like, I mean, I get it that you're seabirds, but geez, you think they still would have to be closer to shore for a bit. But Jeff says he's got homing pigeons.
My neighbor that used to live here years ago, his son had them. He'd send them out. Some of his friends in the area, they said they had them, and just kind of send messages back and forth with pigeons, and then he'd let them out. They'd just fly around the yard a little while and then come back in the evening.
Let's see. I was looking at
I feel so bad. When we were younger, we shot so many pigeons that had bands on them, and we thought it was cool, but they're all homing pigeons. I thought that when I got older.
See if you can collect consecutive numbers on them.
Yeah, that was bad. I still have the ring of them.
Speaking of coyotes, though, if you have a tagged coyote, if you kill it, the DNR here will give you a lifetime hunting license.
What?
Yep, lifetime hunting license if you kill a coyote that's been tagged by DNR.
There's probably one in the whole state.
Yeah.
But I've been looking at this as well. Where's it at? Share screen, share this screen. I've been looking at that. Have you guys looked at that one? This Sightmark Wrap 4K. It actually that's like what they're using. They videotape their shots. And when you pull the trigger, the recoil is what tells the camera to start recording. So.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's kind of like a dash cam. They constantly record, but overwriting themselves. And when they detect something jarring, it goes back so many seconds and records that information.
Yep, it saves it. But I mean, that's one of the least expensive ones on the market, right there.
I'm about to say it's on sale too. Like.
Yeah, but
$800.
Yep.
Yeah, but Bob,
Santa Claus there, Bob.
Bob can't afford that. He's going to Hive Life.
Yeah, going to Hive Life. I can't afford it yet because I haven't gotten a commission check from work yet. So next week we'll see how.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that, Bob.
Yeah, so next week should be my. It's weird. I didn't know this about pest control, Chris. You probably knew it, but it takes a while to because I'm in sales. Like it takes a while because for your sales to build up, because you always have like a stuff you've sold, and then you've got stuff that you've seen people that are coming back to later on, like a couple weeks they'll call you back for something, and some stuff doesn't get paid out till next month, so you always have this like rolling ball of commissions that hasn't hit yet. Right. So you just try to build that.
I was about to say, after you're there for so long, at least the commissions that start rolling in every month then.
Well, and I started at
make sure
the
the
slowest
sales
time
are
of
there,
the year, right? I started at the slowest time of the year. Yeah, that could be a tax write-off, right? It's needed for the farm predator control.
You should be getting a lot of rodent calls right now.
believe it or not, what I'm getting the most of right now is bed bugs.
Bed bugs. Hey, there's a lot of
I
money
can
in that.
believe that.
Bed bugs, yep. So
That must
Minimum
be
job
an
is $800.
That must be an East Coast thing.
well, you got them. You just nobody. You must just live with them.
Admits
You don't
it.
have 'em. I'm not saying you personally have them, Lee, but they're there. Just people don't know they're there, or they don't care that they're getting bit.
Well, there's people on the East Coast purposefully releasing them in WalMarts for some reason.
Bed bugs at Walmart.
Yeah, there was a news story. One of the WalMarts in some state, they found a bottle of them in a jacket in a Walmart. A
What
bottle
in
of
the
bed
heck?
bugs.
Talk about someone being bored.
I'd rather have roaches than bed bugs any day.
Sound like some kind of biological warfare there, huh?
I'll tell you what,
It started.
it's it can get very expensive to get rid of bed bugs.
Just check your hotel whenever you go to High.
Yeah, that's
Yep. Definitely.
There you go, Mark.
I need to buy me a bed bug dog just to carry with me everywhere, like a service dog. Now I'm so paranoid going to somebody's
That's your
house.
emotional support animal.
Well,
Can you see the bed bugs, or are they like so small you can't even see them?
Oh, you can see
Oh, you
them.
can see them. You can see them. They look like an apple seed.
Oh, geez, they're that big?
Yeah.
Some of them when they've been feasting.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's like that 42-pound turkey. I mean, when you're eating, you're eating. That's
I didn't know they were that big.
so. You
And
know,
they lay 4 eggs a day.
I saw Mark over on the Hillbilly channel last night, and y'all were talking about dogs, Mark.
Yes, sir.
So we actually have dogs that sniff out bed bugs.
That's cool.
So it's they've trained them
And
to
they're
go
very accurate.
search.
What do they do? Just stick their head in the door and bark? Or
No,
Actually,
They
they'll
play
sit
real
down. They'll sit down right where the bed bugs are and just look over at the area.
Hey there, Bruce.
And the inspector looks for it.
so then you ain't got to walk in there, right?
No. They're in the room with you.
you gotta go
Okay.
in, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have nothing better to do with our lives, Bruce. That's what it is. This is our club. See, this is our club scene. We're a bunch of older, married or attached people.
Hey, who you calling old?
Yeah,
It's all
I was
married.
saying the same thing.
And we just have nothing better to do. So we come on here and hang out. The only thing is, well, I mean, we could drink beers together. We'd just be in different geographical locations. You know, we all went to different schools together.
I ain't never. Only problem every time the drinking starts, the discounts start rolling out too, though.
Yeah, but the last couple discounts, nobody's bought anything. So it's like, why do it?
Well, my wife just texted me and said good night.
She texted you good night.
Yeah.
You know
Mine's
you
just
ain't
off
coming
their
in
drink.
anytime soon.
Yeah. It is what it is.
See,
What
I
are you
just,
building there, Mark?
the ceiling.
Sir.
You just lost him.
Yeah, we just fell over.
Yeah.
Looks like you're blowing up frames.
No, I'm making nipple feeders.
Oh, okay. For
Yeah,
your
that's
feeders.
from isn't that Castle Hives mentioned?
Yeah, that Brian sent them to me. Yeah. I'm gonna use them on my 3-framer.
I had a question for you, Mark, and I didn't get to ask it to you yesterday.
What's going on, Spanky?
So in my area, I have very poor virgin queen return. Like
Right.
this year, I had a queen. I had a double deep, and they decided they were going to swarm. And I took and made 4 small nukes out of that. And the queen still decided to swarm, and I didn't get no virgin queens returning from it.
Huh. It didn't. So what? You moved the eggs over to a nuke? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I made 4 nukes out of the eggs, and she still decided to swarm.
Right.
And none of those nukes, the queens, they didn't come back. None of the virgins.
Hmm. I don't know. I have that problem when I have a lot of wind, like 35, 40 mile an hour wind. Do you know if it was windy about the time they should have been flying out?
It
Did
wasn't
you have
real
any?
windy, but I have a lot of
Dragonflies, don't you, Spank?
Yeah.
there are some dragonflies, but like I'll have European hornets, they'll build right on the porch. Every year I have to go out there and destroy the nests.
You have a lot of birds and all in there.
Yeah. I had 7 hives last year that I let them swarm, and didn't none of them requeen themselves. I went back and requeened them with some queens I raised.
Yeah, the second year I tried not touching the bees at all, just hands off, and of course they swarmed, but none of the virgin, none of the boxes that had after swarmed, none of those boxes survived. None of the virgins come back.
Yeah, that happens. I mean,
Spanky,
I
Who
don't
knows?
think I've ever had a virgin come back in this area.
Spanky,
Yeah.
you come down in March. I'll split you off a couple of my colonies to get you back started this year.
I didn't know if maybe trying to queen rear, if maybe I should just try to put out more.
You might need more drones.
I was about to say, maybe
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
put a drone frame in each one of your hives, that way.
Yeah,
You got,
it sounds like you ain't got enough drones in that area, is what it sounds like.
Because I know there's one feral colony up the road, and apparently now there are bees down the road. And one year there was a guy down the road of 2 colonies, but he's no longer there, so those colonies are gone. So there's only a couple of colonies that I know of, but there are some bees around. So I'm not sure if it's just predators.
It could be lack of drones, is what it sounds like, if all of them didn't make it back. Have you got very many hives in the yard?
No, I try to keep low numbers of hives. I don't have any
Yeah.
hives now.
Okay.
'Cause,
That's
yeah,
as low as you can get.
only had 2 hives, and whenever I messed my hand up, I didn't get into them whenever they were doing their honey, and so by the time I got into them, they were already honey bound, and I couldn't pull one colony out because they had already swarmed.
Yeah.
And then the second colony tried to swarm, and I thought, okay, well, we'll pull these eggs out, and we'll try to demoralize this queen, but she went on ahead and left anyhow.
Right. Well, you done the right thing, but it just didn't pan out for you then, huh? I don't know, Spanky.
Spanky, if you want to come down here in March, I'll split a couple nukes off for you, get you back started. And
I was about to say, if you ain't got enough drones in the area and that queen, the virgin queen, still flying around trying to mate, she's staying out longer than she needs to, and
being a
possibly
little hoe.
getting ate up.
Yeah, or the wind blows them off. It's just a million things.
Now, if you could get a hive started and put some drone frames in there and saturate the area for drones.
Well,
Yeah.
see, I've had plenty of drone frames before. I've had loads of drones in the colonies.
Yeah, but they're not
And-
really going to mate with that queen unless
Right.
Well,
they're not
They'll
ready.
mate, they'll mate from another colony.
Yeah, they
Well,
try not to
one-
mate with the same colony.
one hive was local, and then the other hive was Saskatraz that I bought and brought in, so they weren't related.
Yeah.
Bruce said it might be worth getting some mated queens to get your apiary started strong.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
what I
that,
do.
but I had problems getting the queen in. It took the 3rd try to get a queen in alive, and by that time, the hive was already so demoralized from the hive beetles and stuff.
Right.
So I'm still thinking we need to have a BBQ down here.
Problem is, though, Bob, in the spring, everybody's busy.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That
have to
is
do
true.
it in the heat of the summer or something.
Well, our heat of the summer starts about March here too.
Yeah.
That's true. Starts warming up.
I think this is our first cold week.
Yeah, I got 43 degrees right now is what I'm reading on my computer.
And
I
what,
got-
yesterday was 70?
Hmm.
Well, see, this is my 4th year keeping bees here, dry cut. So this isn't my first year having bees on this property.
It's been the same issue every year.
Yeah. Yeah, I either get swarms to come in or I have to buy queens.
Well, I've seen people on YouTube where they to stop the swarm, they actually will take the queen out of the main hive and put it in with just the smaller one that they're producing and leave the bigger hive mostly together.
To make
This
this
way-
queens.
Right. This way she's with the smaller hive and she won't fly away.
Bob,
I'm
you
gonna
said you did
suggest,
what?
Spanky, next hive you get before it gets honey bound and you got plenty of brood, take you about 3 frames and then order you a queen first and get that queen to come in. And before they get ready to swarm, go ahead and make your split thin. And then add you some blank frames to that big hive and it should be all right for the rest of the year.
Well, yeah, see, this year I didn't try to split them because let's see, this is 22. In 21, I went and I split them, and then I put formica on them, and you can't mess with them if you put formica on them. And neither of the splits took, and I couldn't put no more bees in there because I had the formica on them after I had split them instead of doing that treatment. But but before splitting, I did it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the boxes were busting full of bees, it wasn't enough.
Right.
But yeah, that second hive that died, it was a double deep. I pulled about 7 gallons of honey off of it.
And it's warm too on you.
Yeah.
You see, you probably should have split it before it swarmed. So
Yeah,
next time around, order you a queen before that, and then split it, and then you should be all right.
Yeah, that queen, she was 2 years old.
Yeah, she probably, yeah. That second year, they're more out to swarm. You really got to watch.
They hadn't tried replacing her none before that, or even drawing out any queen cells before then. Because
Yeah.
some colonies will draw out practice queen cells.
Yeah. But if you don't check it, well, I'm saying if you go ahead and split it before that happens, you don't miss it that way, and you go ahead and get your split, you get it done, and then you got 2 hives. And if you don't take very much brood away, they're still going to make honey. As long as you don't split her real hard.
Yeah, I had to, but where I messed my hand up, I couldn't properly manage the honey load on the second colony. And they were too aggressive. I wasn't going to do a double deep on them in terms of the colony size. I wasn't going to give them another deep for brood. That's why I kept them at 1 deep, because of how aggressive they were towards me whenever I opened them up.
See, about the only time mine's aggressive is whenever we don't have a nectar flow going. You go out there and mess with them, you better be suited up. But if we got any amount of nectar really coming in, I can walk out there in a short sleeve shirt and not even a veil on, and they're fine.
Oh no, those bees, as soon as you open them up, there's about 10, 20 of them in your face.
Was that them sassafras?
Oh no,
Bees?
those were nice bees. These were the local bees that I picked up
okay.
from the local beekeeper.
Oh, okay.
You could walk out in the yard most of the time and not get a sting from them. So they weren't Africanized, but the moment you opened that colony, they were on you. And they would stay on you. Like I would go in the colony, and if I went out the next day, they'd still be on the porch waiting on me.
Here he comes.
Yeah.
Well, too, you
They
could
would
been
be out there for 3 days waiting on me.
sometimes that happens when something's been messing with them, Spanky, too. Like if you've got skunks that's been messing with them or something, that can cause that.
I say, have
But it
you
was
ever
always
noticed
that
any?
one colony?
Have you ever noticed any scratches or anything on the front landing board?
No, not from them. I've seen raccoons, but I haven't seen any raccoons messing with them.
Is Charlie, when y'all going down to pick up packages from Georgia? What month?
It usually is Easter weekend.
And I
Now,
might.
I had a hive like that, Spanky, where you, like you say, you open that one hive up, and they're just like right in your face.
Right.
And what I did with it, I split them suckers out in about 4 different nukes and got rid of that queen and requeened them all.
Yeah.
I'm going. Hive Life. Matt's going, right?
We're all going.
No,
I got to work.
I wish.
Did Bob freeze up there?
I think
He,
Bob's
he's
frozen.
froze.
Am I back now?
Hi, Bob.
Ow.
Am I back now?
Yeah,
On your back.
Okay. Yeah, all of you guys started spinning. I'm like, did we just disconnect? Then it came back.
So you think it could be drones, huh?
I think that's probably your biggest problem. You
Well,
don't
I
have enough
was
drones.
kind of worried about the population of bees around me.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a lot of drones to be successful at it,
Don't
really.
you have quite a few
No,
beekeepers,
Bruce.
don't you, Spanky?
The what?
Don't you have quite a few beekeepers around your area there?
I mean, we have a bee club, but I don't know of any right around me. I mean,
Okay.
there's not really any farms or anything right around me. There's not much going on in terms of gardening and stuff.
Where are you at, Spanky?
I'm basically right on the edge of the city.
What state?
Oh, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, you look me up on that pollinator map, you don't see anything.
That Ashby boy, I don't remember his name. He's over there somewhere. Ashby. He's got some good bees.
Oh, I know where you're talking. Yeah, he's around Raleigh.
That's on the other side of the state.
He's a young guy.
Ashby Farms. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Is he anywhere close to Spanky, you think?
That's in the middle of the state. I'm over by Tennessee.
Yeah, he's on the west
He's
side.
up in Lenore there, up there close to Boone and Hickory.
He's probably closer to me than he is Raleigh.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the map, Bob. You talking about everybody getting together for a barbecue or a BBQ. It's 733 miles from my house to yours.
Well, that's why they make
Airplanes.
Southwest or what's the cheapo air?
You ain't got no airplane port down there.
JetBlue.
It's a 3-hour and 35-minute flight from Baton Rouge and it starts at $541.
Oh,
Ooh.
But flying out of Baton Rouge, it's a little metropolitan airport. They are high.
Spirit
That's
Air.
expensive barbecue.
Yeah.
Well, it is in the southeast there, but for here, I mean, Chris is a couple hours away. Spanky's a couple hours away. Ricky Rourke's a few hours away.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go to Hive Life for me, I looked it up. 14 hours and 36 minutes.
It's going to be about 11 to 12 hours for me driving.
Just be
It's
like
still 700 miles. I mean, plus your stops and all.
Brian at Flower Street's flying in and driving a U-Haul back
From
with
Colorado.
stuff in it.
Brian's serious about it.
I
I'm
think
telling
Brian's
you.
around what? Didn't he say Denver area? I think he's
Yeah, he's outside of Denver, Colorado.
okay. I thought it was Denver area.
See, what you should have done is you should have loaded up the weed in the U-Haul and drove it to Tennessee. Then you could have run a tractor trailer from Mark and drove all your
Yeah.
equipment back from your proceeds.
Yeah, dropped the weed off my house.
You would have done a drop and hook for that one.
Yeah.
So it took him a while last year due to weather.
That's what I was hearing. Some of them sat on the interstate for hours in a snowstorm.
All right.
One,
I'm working on the hive that I'm donating to that deal on Wednesday. This is the top. Should I add anything else or take stuff away?
Merca.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
now where's my AR-15, my beer?
I can put that on there too, I guess.
It's the Merca hive. It was wild.
That'll be the whole top.
Well, I like the hive you did for yourself.
Yeah, it'll be similar. No one noticed it in the video, and I didn't until after I posted the video. All the honeycombs are turned the wrong way.
I don't
Yeah,
know
some backwards
this
these.
this other person.
Yep.
Well, now we got a new one.
Yep, new
Yeah.
person.
Guess that depends on how you're looking at it there.
Yep. Exactly. Put it on a hill.
All right, someone we've never seen before. Pretty Andy. Hey, Pretty Andy.
What the hell?
Get that off of there. That was butt talk.
I don't know if that was what or what. I can't tell.
Charlie, was that your buddy?
I don't know who the hell that was.
They
So,
just
hopefully
on the hive,
I
man.
don't know who that was. Well, that's a first for everything.
I told
I didn't recognize the name.
somebody
That's why I let you click it in.
That's pretty, Andy.
Pretty Andy.
I didn't recognize that name. I let you click that one in.
There you go. That's with having a open to everybody chat.
They just upgraded from in the comments to on the live stream.
And there went monetization, ladies and gentlemen. Not that I'm making any money out of it, but hey, there you go. All right,
It
so
didn't
that,
take Bob long to hit that button.
yeah, that was an hour and 58 minutes in. We're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I
Be
can't.
pretty simple. I mean, I can make it out of wood, but I'm getting to an ideal here. What I'm getting to.
He 3D printed a roller cage.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, you can definitely do it. Charlie,
Yeah.
your device.
Yeah.
I'm in devices, yeah, but
You under device manager, look for display adapters and then click that little drop down.
I'm in this display.
Now go to device manager and then display adapters.
Devices.
No. Device manager. Do type device manager in that thing down the bottom.
Okay, device manager right here.
Then click the little drop down for display adapters.
It's a NVI DIA GeForce RTX 3060.
Okay.
TI or 3060.
Huh?
Does it say
Does it have TI after it or just 3060?
It's got 3060.
Okay.
Okay. I've
It's
got
a
one.
It's a GeForce or RTX 3060, whatever that means.
I've got the 3070 in this computer, and I've got 3060. I've got a 3070 Ti on this computer and a 3060 Ti on my other computer in there.
Yeah, I'm running the 3070 Ti. I
What's
still want that 4090, but until they figure out the overheating and fire issues, I don't think I'm going to get that one.
Yeah, you mean something like that right there.
Something similar to that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Want
But
something
To where
like that
they,
longer.
but make your bottom platform a little bit taller to where they won't fall down.
It's
You
got to
know.
still have the cap on the bottom, right?
Well, just where to sit down in there and not fall over. And they have about 30 of them that'll go in there.
Yeah, I mean, I can make something like that. The biggest thing is, I just have to have one of those roller cages.
Yeah, where you can measure it. Right.
Yeah.
Is that the JZBZ setup there?
No, this here's the
It's a roller cage.
just a roller cage.
A Nikot roller cage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you the idea I got. Hold on.
Let me play with my toys. Which end you trying to measure? The bigger end or the smaller end?
Well, he wants them to stand upright.
This way or this way?
Well, I mean, I assume he wants
That way,
them to.
so the cell hangs down, right?
Yeah, because if it's upside down, she can be deformed.
That's one thing I'm hoping to do this year is graph.
You're looking 1 1/32 on the diameter, but
Oh, I don't work in those.
that's without
He
the little ears.
It needs millimeters.
You want millimeters?
Okay.
I work in millimeters.
Spanky, something like this, but it would fit these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it wouldn't fall over, it would be wide enough. All right. Now here's another idea I had. So like you put your queen cells in here, right? And this is deeper than this, okay? And it would have a hole in the side of it, right here.
Looking 26.25 millimeter.
Okay. We'll have a hole in the side of it right here. She would hatch out in here. This cage would go inside here. You got me?
So
Yeah.
she'd walk directly into the cage.
You put your food right here on the JBZ, would keep her from crawling back up into this here and dying.
Well, you'd hope it would.
She would walk into this, see, and if I had a way where she couldn't get back into where the cell is, would be great.
You could probably do that with probably a thin one-way flap, something where she could push up against it.
Where
And
she
then
could get in there and not get out. Right.
Well,
Right.
She could push up against it, but then it's going to flap back.
Yeah, where she couldn't nobody go the other way. My thinking is on this is I could put attendants in here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And they would already be in here. Then I would put this in the side. So when she hatched out and went to them attendants to feed, she's got attendants immediately after she hatches. Instead of waiting a day or so to put attendants in there, they're already in there when they hatch. You see what I'm trying
Yeah,
to do?
Now,
Then
can
The attendants can't get back in there while she's hatching, and when she comes in here, she can't get back. She can't get back to this cell right here. That would end the problem of having to take this out and get rid of that cell and her crawling up in there and dying. Plus, it would put attendant bees with her immediately after she hatches because she's going to go to the food. Are you with me?
I get you. The biggest thing I'm thinking about is how to do that one-way flap.
Right. That was the problem I was thinking. But
Well,
there's
they
a way
do
to.
it. There's like these little pieces for like balloons, blowing up balloons. Well, you can just blow into it, and the balloon can't deflate because it's a
Right.
one-way.
Yeah.
Well, how about instead of a one-way flat, can't you do like a V-escape with those little tiny cones? Have it where they're going through the cone, and that make that hole bigger.
That's what I was thinking was a cone, but I don't know if she can get her fat butt through it though.
Can they figure that out eventually?
It would take a
I'm
little
sure
bit
it
of
took some time.
a little trial and error, but I think we would be on to something.
I think your cone would be better than a flap because when they're hatching, they're pretty fragile yet. Where I don't think from what I'm learning, I don't think
Right.
she might not be able to push anything either.
I know.
Well, it's not about the strength of the flap. It's about the visibility.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the idea of a doggy door. How if a dog doesn't know that it can go through the door, it's probably not going to go through it because it thinks it's a wall.
Yep.
It can be a
Something
thin
solid.
piece of plastic, and if it doesn't move, it may not go
Yeah.
through it. But if it knows that it's a door, it's going to go right through it.
Yeah.
Well, you're the genius. Yeah, you figure it out for me.
I don't know about that.
But it's
I
worth
think we'll be on to something. I really do.
Well, I feel
Because the
so
sooner
sorry.
you can get them attendants to her, the better off you'll be. And if we can do without her crawling back up in there and dying, she's gonna go straight to them attendants and feed. Then all I gotta do is come up here, grab this cage, and go about my way. You see, she's where I need her to be.
Tritone, that what you talking about?
Is that the same one I got, Lee? Did you get the Saracel one?
Nah, that's the Nikot one. But I do also have that plastic JZBZ that has some sails that snap in. I don't know where my bag of them is right now.
That's what I
There.
That's what I liked about these cups. Mark, you might like them, might not like them. For the Saracel set, it's a one-piece cup for grafting,
Uh-huh.
and then the roller fits right on it,
Right.
so you don't have to have multiple pieces. So,
Yeah, it fits in there snug. How high are them cups? By the 100, by the 1,000?
oh hell, I don't know. Let's see. It's a Saracel product.
But yeah, Mark, I if I had some of those, I just need one of them to test the fit.
Hey, little A Brian made it in from the market. How you doing, Brian?
Hey guys,
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
how you guys doing?
Hey,
Can you hear me? Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
So we can hear you.
All right. I'm enjoying this 3D printer beekeeping connection here. Now, I've not heard any conversation at all tonight. I've seen the chat a little bit, so I have no idea what you guys have been talking about. But man, I would love a roller cage for the JZBZ system. Like, I love that roller cage for the Nikot, but it's just not compatible with JZBZ. And I wish there was like an adapter to make it fit, or just a roller that fit with it. You know, I get the frame. I've seen those, Lee, and those are great. But if there's a roller that fits, then you don't need a special frame. So that's what I would like.
Yeah, it's like they all each company tries to make their stuff proprietary to themselves, so nothing you can't go cross platform with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. But I like those roller cages. I use them all the time, just independently when I'm caging a queen.
Well, I had planned on using it last year. I put the NICOT system in my hive, and it's still sitting there since spring. I never did put the queen in the laying box, but it's still in there. I told Brad I'm going to leave it there through the whole winter.
You can put attendants in that roller cage,
Mhm.
but that still don't solve the problem of the cell. Okay. You
Right.
still got to take it off to get the cell out. Then your attendant bees are going to fly out. Okay.
Right.
Also, when you get ready to introduce her, you've got to let the attendant bees out. So, but if you go to this kind of cage, you can let the attendant bees out right there. Okay.
So what happens if you take those queen cells in the roller cage and just put them in a box? I mean, with bees, wouldn't the bees take care of her when she hatches out, or no?
Well, she can go back up into the cell.
Right, but if
you talking about just put the frame with the roller cages in a hive and let them hatch out.
Yeah, and then
the only problem with that, I mean, you think it's easier, but Bob, I'm gonna tell you, it's not. It's harder because you got to go back. Them larvae are capped within how many days?
6.
So there you go. You got 6 days. You got to go back out there. You got to pull more larvae up for them to take care of them.
Okay.
I can put them in my incubator for 3 weeks. I mean, they wait 9 or 10 days before they artificially inseminate them.
Okay.
Charlie ran out of popcorn.
Charlie ran out of popcorn.
I get what you talking about.
Actually, I got peanuts right here.
I get what you talk about, Mr. Mark. Some of them had that queen go back into the cell to try to get to the royal jelly or anything that's left in there, and she gets stuck and can't back out.
And dies.
Dying.
Yeah.
Well, I do like Mark does. I take them cells out in 6 days and put them in an incubator. If you're going to let them hatch out, then I would take the cell and put it in the top of the cage. And it's got a block that I just drilled. I took a Forstner bit and drilled a hole big enough for that cap in to go down there. Because the problem with that cap in is where that tab is, it goes over the end. It sticks out past the edge, so it's not a perfect circle. And it's got to be, it's a little wobbly, but then you got to get in there, like you say, when they're hatching, and peel that cocoon out of there and recap it.
Either take the cell out or you got to take that cell holder out.
Okay.
Well, that's another thing is, don't they have any kind of a cap that can put on the end of that cage?
That I don't remember.
They don't. They don't seem to.
All right. Here's your roller cage, right?
Right.
Just throw that away. We don't even want that no more. We're going to do away with that.
Okay.
We're going to make this thicker. Okay. We're going to come along and we're going to put our grafted cell right there on top.
All right.
We're going to have a hole right here in the side.
Okay.
This goes in the hole.
JZBZ cup. Okay. I mean, cage.
It goes in the hole.
Right.
There's going to be attendants already in this cage. When she hatches, she comes through this canal into the JZBZ cage. She cannot go back to the cup. She goes right to the attendants and gets fed right away, just as soon as she hatches. Then all I got to do is come by, grab the cup. I can look right here and see if she's already in there. I could take this, do what I'm going to. I can put it full of sugar or whatever I want to do from there. The attendants are already there. She's ready to go.
Now, if somehow in the side of your wooden board or your 3D printed thing or whatever, if you could put, like, just say some paintbrush bristles, for instance, at a downward angle
there's enough room for that queen to come by and just barely rub them and go out.
Right.
Come back up. The
But she
points-
can't come back to the cup. And she's going immediately, as soon as she hatches, she's going immediately to worker bees or young bees to feed her. Okay. And instead of hatching out in this cage, and it'd be 2 days before I can put worker bees in there, she's automatically got worker bees. Boom. Which in nature, that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
So, Mark, is this set up in an incubator?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm trying to run it through Spanky's head, see if he can figure that out.
What keeps those worker bees alive in the cage while they're waiting for that queen to emerge? How are they getting food?
Just feed them. You're going to have feed there anyway.
Okay.
You know,
So
You can
That-
put some,
on that JZBZ cage, you can bust that bottom bar out. And the
right.
coming
And
in.
you can release them. Yeah, you can release them. That's the good thing. That's what I like about introduction of a virgin is you can pop that out, see, and then you can just, once the attendants are gone, you can just put her right at the front door and you ain't got no fighting going on. But if you put them attendant bees at the front door, they're going to fight. And you've done created a fight and trying to introduce a virgin too. You can't do that.
They're going to end up killing the queen itself.
Right. Let the virgins go. That's what that's for. Then introduce her. But if we do this process, she goes straight to the bees to be fed straight to the food. She don't come back to the comb or the cell and die anymore. That does away with that.
as long as you got some kind of a gate system there that you got to develop.
You got to figure that out. Yeah. That's what I can't figure out. But I think we'd be on to something.
Well, you got to
Yeah.
have something that the queen. I mean, that's the other thing, right? The queen could get up to that and not want to go through it and turn around and go back the other way too. So,
Well, she's going to be looking for food, for one, and she's going to be looking for them other bees.
Now,
Like
if you-
Spanky said, if she can see over there, would be great.
all right, well, you know,
But,
they
too, you know, I like hatching mine out in the dark. I don't like no light. Queens don't like light.
if you
So
put
that-
a, if you
That
put a
rules that out, Spanky. That's not going to work.
Well, that
Especially
could
young
work
queens.
as a deterrent. You could have a light over top. That queen could run to get away from the light down to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't want any light where my queens are hatching.
Well, that's what he's saying.
Not
If you have the
a-
light over the top, then the queen, when she does hatch, she's going to be trying to get away from that light and go down to the darkness.
That may work.
That might would be your deterrent.
what if you had a cone in there where you know how
like a
bees
trap out
will,
cone.
huh?
Kind of like a trap out cone.
Yeah, you know how where it's a one-way cone where the worker
Yeah.
bees. Well, why can't you have a cone where she would go through the
Just
cone
the cone.
But can
into
they
the
can they
cage?
figure that out over time? Can they figure that out?
Yeah.
Are they
Yeah, I
smart
think the
enough?
cone. I think the cone would work, Spanky. I do. But you're going to have more space to make that work. You
'Cause I
don't
know
want it
with
to take up a whole lot of room. You want to be able to get, say, 100 of them in one, you know, like a
But
chicken
Spanky could
incubator.
print, he could print out a small block and have in that hole, in that canal, like it's going to go out the side, he can introduce that cone so it's in there, built in, 3D print it, do a block of 1 or 2 or even 4 of them, see if it works, and then if it does, then do it on a bigger scale.
Yeah,
I know
right.
Maybe have to futz with the size on the cone a little bit, or get one of those cones from Saracell or whatever brand and take your measurements off of there.
the skateboards, the bees figure that out over time.
Yeah, but your queen, it ain't like she's going to be in there long enough.
Yeah, it's not going to be in there for a long time.
Yeah. I'm hoping we figure out how she can just go through there and get straight to the attendants and not go up in that cell.
Matt, you talking about kind of like these type of protector cones?
Well, no, I'm saying the cones that have you put on your divider to get all your bees out of your
It
super.
would be the same cones that they have for the escape boards.
The skateboard cones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like little traffic cones.
Yeah, and I don't have none of them here.
Saracel's got that plastic. Your skateboard has got them cones in there.
Yeah, and there's one other
Yeah.
brand out there. I know it's
Like-
Saracel has started it or whatever.
Like Ian uses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how are you getting the attendance in there? Are you going out and shaking bees into a bucket and then just scooping up in your JZBZ cup?
No, I just
You pick them up.
pull a fry and pick them up, put them in. Yeah.
How do you do that without getting stung? That's my problem.
Well, I'm looking for the fat ones. Okay. I don't want the skinny ones. I want the fattest ones because they're more out to have more feed to be able to feed them. Catch them when they got their head in the cell and just grab them by the back wing.
I was about to say, a lot of people reach down and grab them by the wing and just pick them up.
Yeah, the ones setting their heads down in the cell works definitely good.
That's the best way. When they get their head down in the cell, just reach and grab them. Stick them in the cage.
Just takes practice, Charlie. That's all you're gonna do to get better at it.
Yeah.
I practice at markets when we'd have bees coming and checking out our booth, and I'm bored in the summer. I just sit there and practice picking the bees up.
Yeah.
And you get good at it, and then you can catch them, and then you can palm them. Once they're palmed in your hand, they're not going to sting you.
I'll take your word on that one.
You know how to tell when a drone is fully mature, right?
Yeah, they squirt or no, you push them. You put your finger down on them.
And after you let go, they'll fly off. They're mature. If they don't fly off, they're not mature yet.
So now, what was that traffic cone thing called?
Basically,
Yeah.
bee escape cones, right?
Saracel makes it. I don't know if I can't pull it up on here because that's on my computer. This is on my phone.
I don't have it inside. I was thinking where my bee escapes are.
Magic Lee has to do it.
I'm looking for like a Saracel escape cone.
Escape board.
I've got a couple of them.
I think.
You got a caliper?
Is that what you're talking about?
There you go. Right
That's
there.
it
Yeah.
right there. That's it.
Heck yeah. Because you got to remember the rear end's not that big on the queen until she comes back mated yet. So
Right. She's still little. She ain't even fully
Yep.
developed yet, you know.
right, that's what I'm saying. So she should be able to fit through there, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're gonna have to make it actually smaller.
I wouldn't have no way to measure because it's just on screen. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know she could fit through the opening on the JZBZ. Now, I mean, if you could make it just a little bit smaller than what this is, just barely enough for her to get through, maybe she
Right.
wouldn't want to go back the other way.
That's about the size you want. That's about the size they use for doing queen insemination.
Yeah.
I looked at getting one of those AI rigs. That's like $2,000 for that little bitty rig to do the artificial insemination.
Nah, you can get one off Etsy for like $200, or
Yeah,
you just
well,
your
I've
own.
seen the cheaper ones and all, but as far as like, I mean, I guess something that's going to last years. It's
Oh, that
precision.
plastic's not going to decay.
Either way, I mean, they ain't cheap just for what they are. But
I-
The microscope's what costs money.
There's a guy up here that had one of them rigs, and I think it was like $5,000.
$25, Spanky.
Yeah, but is that powerful enough?
I'm trying to think. It's
Yeah, see, you don't know offhand what the
2,500?
part.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking, what you said, Lee.
1,000 times.
If we took a thicker piece of wood, basically, and drilled a hole through here and put the funnel in there, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's still got to be big enough or a long enough canal to where this would sit in there. That.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? Your funnel is going to be smaller than that. You got me?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still it.
So
would
you're going to
be
have a
close.
long enough tube, basically drill a hole and come out further. I don't know exactly how to do it, but I got it in my head now.
I was
think
about to
it'll
say
work.
that would probably be Spanky's specialty there, figuring all that out.
Well, your
Yeah.
tunnel, you could just have a longer tunnel.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to go into it. You can just have a longer tunnel.
Right.
Then stick
She
the
goes
whole
through
tube
that.
Daisy Beezy into the wood or into the block, right?
It could be plastic, whatever. Yeah.
And then it'll just Queen will walk out and walk in.
Yep.
So, Mark, are you grafting like on a daily basis or just once a week?
Once a week.
But you're
I'll,
grafting what, 30 cells?
30 is most I'll put in one. Yeah. I don't try to do no more.
Well,
And you
what I'm
just
getting
got-
at is if you're doing every once a week, you graft on a Wednesday. I usually graft. I think it is on a Wednesday, and then you pull them cells out on a Monday, put them in the incubator, and then you're grafting again. So you're always rotating the queens out before that
Right.
next batch gets in there. So you don't even sound like to me if you got it to work, you wouldn't happen to have no more than be able to put 30 cell or 30 cages in there.
Right. It wouldn't have to be. You know, if you just put 30 in there.
That's if you get 100% acceptance.
Right. Exactly. And 100% hatch, you know.
Right. So I mean, you're looking at, let's say on average, you're going to get 25 out of a graft of 30. On a, that'll be.
What are you feeding? Because you, how long are you keeping the worker bees in there?
They're
Well,
gonna stay in there until
Well, I
get ready
get
to-
that, but what day are you collecting the worker bees?
Yeah, he's
Well,
right.
I could be able to collect them a week before if I need to. I mean, them
Okay,
worker bees,
so
they'll
if
be
they're in there
fine.
so you're feeding them for like a week.
Yeah,
So you
you
might
can
wanna
do
have
that. It wouldn't be a good idea, but you could do that. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is you might want to have a setup where you slot those in, and there's a little divot that they go into, where basically they're in a little bit of a divot, and you can put, a little bit of sugar water will go through. Basically, a little feeding tray will flow through, not enough to drown them, but that way you could feed the whole site at once.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What I do is just dribble water on them and rub a little honey on the side of the cage and just dribble. Just as long as they got water and a little bit of honey, they're good. You know,
That's Spanky. That little camera I was showing you was asking it how
they have
it's
to be
used.
watered sometimes twice a day, Spanky.
That's a Chinese grafting tool right here. And you can see the bend in it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's strong enough for
I was about
the.
to say that one. Now I can adjust it to where I get closer and then just adjust the focus manually.
See that the end of that, Lee, at the very tip end that you're touching that with, when you go to sand that down, just a little, you're going to make it thinner, right? When it starts protruding little hairs from it, stop right there. That's where you want it. You got it thinned out just right.
No. They're just toys.
I don't know
So,
what
Mark,
that is. It's a porcupine quill or something. I don't know what that is.
That's an interesting idea, Donnie. Because if she can't fly in that little tunnel, then she's going to have to climb.
Yep. I was looking at that too.
So you
And
can
if
just
it's
put a tube from that block that goes straight into the colonies. So once she hatches, she just walks straight in instead of going through the front. It's just a tube that goes into the side of the colony. And then once she's released, you just cap the side of the colony off.
Yeah. It's an idea. I don't know.
Spank, he's thinking about putting like a little trough in there with just a little.
You'd be surprised how many of them go crawl back in that cell and die before you can get to it to get rid of them cells.
Yeah.
So, Mark, you use virgin sometimes and queen cells other times?
I do, yeah.
Talk about when you use both and why.
Well, just different reasons, really. If it's cold, I don't like using cells. I'd rather put a virgin in because the cool will sometimes kill the virgin or the queen inside the cell if you don't have enough bees there to keep it warm. It takes more bees, right?
Okay.
So you got a cold front coming. I don't want to put cells in that day or that week. I want to put a virgin cell or a virgin in there instead.
Okay, that makes sense.
The problem is with virgin, like I said, you got to have the 0 larvae big enough to make a queen out of. They got to be hopelessly queenless in order to introduce a virgin, right? And you don't always have queen cells. Let's just say you grafted and everything didn't work out, okay, which happens.
Right.
And you've got virgins, so you're stuck with having to introduce virgins. You know, all your stuff is hatched out. You've got all your boxes full, for instance, or whatever. Maybe I don't have them made up like you was talking about, you know, and I've already got cells hatching out. So then I've got to keep virgins for a little while until I can get them ready, you know.
Okay, so dealing with the timing
and being on a busy schedule, you know.
Yeah.
Learning how to introduce virgins is a big help. It really is.
It sounds like having that incubator is another way to not necessarily save time, but buy yourself time when you need to.
Yes, it buys you a lot of time. I mean, it does.
Brian,
but not only this, Brian, people buy virgins. I have people pull up here, well, look, I want 10 virgins. And I can go to my incubator and give them 10 virgins, you know.
Yeah.
I sell virgins. So.
Do you think people know what to do with them?
Yes. Charlie's right. Most people don't, but the ones that are buying virgins, most of them do.
I was about to say, if they straight up asking for a virgin, for the most part, they probably might know.
Yeah. That's my concern. Is most people here wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, the problem I have is you give them a cell. Well, I'll put them in tomorrow. I says, no, you're not. I said, you're putting them in today.
Yeah.
Right now, I said, it's like a baby in a womb. You know, it's got to be kept at 93. But now, as far I was listening to you last night, Brian, you had a lot of questions, and you were trying to reduce your timing, I guess it is, to work in your cell or in your queen rearing shortcuts or whatever. I don't know what's wrong with this start.
Brian, here's a shortcut, and it does work. Graft your cells. 2 days later, go in and get the cells out and put them in your nukes right then.
48-hour cells.
Let the nukes finish it out. That does work. I personally don't think the queens are as good. Okay. I think they're better if you leave them in that great big colony and let them finish them out, you know.
Yep.
It does work, but it buys some time, you know.
Yeah.
Now, your question last night, Brian, you were saying about the days and the timing part of it.
Calendar. Yeah.
The calendar part. Is it because you forget about it or you don't have a calendar?
No, it's just about not having time to get back to it sometimes. You know,
I mean, if you'll go, I mean, Lee can bring it up tonight. It's called, and I use it all the time. It's a club here in Pennsylvania, well, north of me in Pennsylvania. It's called and you go to the beeyard.org, the beeyard.org, and then when you go to their thing, click on queen rearing.
I remember me and you brought this up one.
Huh?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about this in a conversation.
Well, you can print it out and it tells you what day to do whatever. But the way I always got confused about, it's day 9 and all that. Well, wait a minute. If you march it out and do queen rearing somewhere there.
This one has a queen calendar.
There it is right there. All right, there's today's date. That's the day you graft. Click on that. There it is. You print it out in 2 pages, tell you when to do everything.
Yeah, and I get this. I understand this. It's about following it. It's about fitting those days into my other life.
Well,
right? That's the part I struggle with.
Now, what I do with that calendar is I always make sure that Wednesday is the day I graft, because I think if it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. Monday is the day that I pull that graft out of that queenless hive. And then it marches out that way, and I put it in the incubator. Now, I started an incubator because the bees will put webbing in between the cells, and that was a pain. And also, if you're selling cells, well, you don't have to go out to the bee yard. All you have to do is get down in your basement where I have that freezer section of my refrigerator, and I use a warming box, and I just open that thing up. There's my cells in front of me, and it's convenient.
So I guess for me, a huge walk away is like, I get the calendar. I get that. I have the wheel.
Right.
I know all that. It's just about plugging it into my other life. But one thing I'm walking away with is having different ways of doing it, using 48-hour cells, using capped cells, using virgins. Knowing how to do all those different things is going to give me the flexibility to work around my busy schedule and work around times where I'm not going to be able to do some of those other ones.
If you have a week or two that you're going to be real busy, you may have to do it this way. But if you got a week or two,
that's it,
kind of free, then you do it the other way.
Well, I mean, if you just pull a frame of eggs out and and it's warm, and put it in a nuke, they'll do everything themselves.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, that's
walk away split.
Yeah, just a walk away split. I mean, they'll do that easily.
A walk away split, or just a walk away queen reared kind
of. And if you're not into the grafting end of it, you could do a demery where keep the queen in the bottom box and then pull a frame of eggs out, and then you have queen excluder, 2 honey supers, another queen excluder, and put that frame upstairs where there's bees, and make sure you have a good strong hive, and they'll make queen cells up there. Even though the hive is queen right, the pheromones get weak.
See, Charlie, one of my biggest Sorry, I was going to say one of my biggest problems with my management, the solution is in the picture right behind you. You having all of your hives all in one place allows you to manage your hives in a way that I can't, because my hives are 2 here, 3 there, 4 there. So
you got out yards.
Yes, and just like backyard out yards.
I had a out yard where you had, like you say, 2 hives, and what a pain in the butt that was.
That is, and so I'm looking for that. Where can I put a place where I can put half of my hives, kind of thing, so I can go there?
Do you have a situation where you can?
I'm working on it.
Put hives in your backyard, and I'm not talking about a bunch of them. Just let's say 2 or 3 of them, just enough.
So this is my setup. I've got about 40 colonies. I have my backyard. I consider like my nursery. It's got anything small overwintered, any experiments, anything that needs an extra eye on. It's in my backyard. I can look at on a daily basis. Then I've got my production colonies pushed out.
Yeah.
Right.
But your grafting colony should be right there in your backyard.
Yeah, you need your mating queen and all your other nukes right there in your backyard, all your mating nukes.
I got that. That's no problem. The part of it sometimes is getting all the other stuff ready or then getting those cells or virgins out to those different places. One of the problems I had last year, as I was getting bigger and bigger, I didn't realize all the splits I was doing in the spring last year was going to require like 20 more places to put hives for like a month. So I had to scramble to figure out where I was putting all my splits. So figuring out where to put them all was a super big juggle for me. So
I
again,
put them
one
in
of
my
the things-
backyard.
yeah, but I only got so much room.
Yeah.
I live on a half an acre, and I've got really nice neighbors that have been really understanding.
Well, you
I
were,
hang them on fence posts and everything else.
Yeah.
Just anywhere where I can get them.
so what I mean, tonight you were saying you worked late at night too?
Well, I was at a market tonight. So
Oh,
we have like a holiday market this weekend. It's our last market of the season.
okay. No, I didn't know what your time frame was.
Yeah, and like I'm a half-time teacher as well, so I work like the school schedule. I have my summers off. And then I'm super busy up until May, and then I have the entire summer to do what I need to do. I catch a lot of swarms. I'm on the swarm hotline here, so that keeps me busy in May and June as well. And then the market season picks up right around then too. So
That's where you're selling your honey and stuff.
yep.
One thing I forgot to mention, very important, the most important part. Don't forget to put this on the front door of your cell builder. If you don't use this, put you a queen excluder on the bottom board where they got to come through that queen excluder. This is the most important piece of a builder.
So no queens can get in, or
So
no queens can leave.
no virgin queens can get in and destroy all your cells.
Okay.
That's the most important piece of a builder right here. To me. But because if they get in there and destroy themselves, it's over. And it happens. Sometimes it happens with that on the front door too. They'll get through it. I've had them do it. Just to throw that out there because I haven't said anything about that, and that's the most important piece.
I think Lee threw in the towel already after 3 hours. So
Oh no, he said he'd be back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, he said it in the chat.
Yeah, like
So that makes me wonder, Mark, is it valuable to have your starter away from your mating nukes for that same purpose?
It don't matter as long as you got that queen excluder there where they can't get in. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
See, he's back.
Yeah, I had to do something for the old lady real quick.
See, I never know where my builder's going to be, Brian, because most time I'll wait for one to swarm or right before it swarms. I don't know which hive it's going to be, a lot of times.
Right. Yeah.
I can pretty much guess because I've split them down and I've let this one go,
Yeah. So are all your hives in the same place?
No, I got 3 yards.
Okay.
3 yards, yeah. But most of them out there, they're either production or resources. One of the two or both,
So what do you guys think about marking virgins?
I was told that it makes them easier to spot for predators. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never marked it.
I wouldn't worry about that. The biggest benefit to virgin is being able to inspect her, get a good look at her, make sure she's fully developed, all that,
Right.
I know that what's the guy in Brittany, France?
Black Mountain Honey?
No, he's
Richard Noel.
yeah.
Noel, he marks his virgins.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I don't. I usually wait till they're mated and all that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I marked a bunch of my queens this year in my production hives so I could spot them, so I could do my single breed chamber management easier. And I wound up with about 4 of them that went queenless. Now, I didn't, get paint on their antennas or anything like that. But I'm wondering whether they changed the smell and the other bees killed them or whatever. I'm not sure about that. But, so, well, it's about midnight. I got to get going.
Yeah,
It's already mid. It's 11 o'clock here. Yep. Yeah. Sure
Sorry,
is.
sorry for
Yeah.
keeping you guys up.
Oh,
You know,
I gotta get up.
You're coming to High Life, aren't you, Brian?
Yeah. Super excited to meet you guys all. Who else is going?
Me.
Nice.
both Lee Quinbys will be there.
Both. Nice.
Brian, email me.
Yeah, we'll do, Mark. How can I
Oh.
get your where can I get your email address?
Flash, FLASH,
Okay.
M.MILL at Yahoo.
Got it.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Have a good night.
All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us on our no life beekeeping chat. That's why I was laughing, Brian, when you said in your other life. I said, wait, this is the no life beekeeping chat. We don't. We
In my-
not only
In
don't
my
have fun, we-
other no life.
Yeah. Well, I see Spanky's brain over there still working.
Oh,
Oh.
trust me. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, he'll either say, "I got a package coming to you," or he'll say he'll start sending you pictures of it.
Yeah. Did you get my email address, Spanky? Write it
What
down.
is it?
Flash, FLASH,
Yeah.
M.
Okay.
.MILL
Okay.
at Yahoo.
So what are you military? MILL military?
No, that's Mark Miller. M. Mill. Flash, that's because I used to be a Chippendale dancer, right?
Yeah.
That's where I recognized you from.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
if you hang on here after the show, I'll give you my number. You
So
just
now we
call.
know why that guy from Turkey was showing up to show you his stuff.
No, he wasn't showing me nothing. I think that was Charlie.
I don't know that one just threw me off. He's talking about he used to be a Chippendale dancer. Then Spanky gonna tell him after the show he'll give him his number.
Yeah, that really throws you off, didn't it?
I just thought that was funny.
We better stick to the email there. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later.
All
Yeah.
right,
Hey,
guys.
Good night, y'all.
Good
Enjoyed
night.
it.
Talk to you later.
Later.
Right.